Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Froggy Stonks. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Sorry about the call earlier. We got shorted. I don't know what was going on with YouTube. Earnings has not been announced yet. It's still the 31st on the Hycroft website, but NASDAQ is reporting estimated sometime in April. So I'm going to restart a call. So we can listen to the Diane Garrett interview at 11:30 Eastern Time. HYMC is ripping today. Loving it. Hopefully everybody can join the space this time. We'll see what happens. This time, for some reason, the screen capture on Streamlabs is not picking up. I think it's Twitter. Twitter is not picking up the sound from the call very good, which is rare. New to me. Loving HYMC today, and AMC took back 2 or 3%. Yo, hopefully this works better this time. What's up, guys? Jen, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I reset everything. It's a
How's everything working now?
It's a problem with Twitter where the space calls is not playing high enough volume on PC for some reason now. So when I try to screen capture it, it doesn't get full volume, and people on YouTube have trouble hearing it. So I'm going to have to play it straight from phone to microphone. Never had this issue before.
Yeah, that's weird. You've been doing this for a while now.
Well, other people
talk about this issue.
Yeah, other people have said too that they've been having trouble with Twitter volume on Spaces calls. So
looks like PJ, by the way, she's having problems connecting up here.
She couldn't even join the call this morning.
What the hell? Maybe if she could just restart her phone or something, and then.
Yeah, PJ,
yeah.
Restart your phone. Jeez.
I don't know. I mean.
It took me a couple tries.
What's up,
It
Lucas?
took me a couple tries to get in this morning too.
Yo, HYMC's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Bought the dip. Now I'm enjoying the rip. I hope she gets on Benzinga and is like, we found so much freaking gold. And then
I'm glad I hopped on board.
Then I hope Hycroft goes in and uses all that gold to buy hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil from Russia to store, since we're just like depleting our reserves quicker than anybody can count.
She made it.
Hey, you guys, I'm hiding in a closet at work, literally. Well,
Oh my God.
I can't listen, and that's why I couldn't get on this morning. But, Jen, maybe if you could tweet out the highlights or something, I'd really appreciate that. Love you guys. Gotta go. Bye.
Okay. Bye, PJ. Have fun working.
I was kind of strangely turned on by the PJ whispering there, honestly.
Yeah, that was hot. Oh my God, PJ, you're a funny girl. It's like in a closet, like at work, whispering, "Hey guys, can only come here."
I need PJ to start like a 1966 number so I can call it on a payphone and listen to it.
Oh my God. Tara's in the house. What's up, Tara?
Welcome to PJ's Naughty Line.
Oh shit. I'm in the wrong room. Well, Spencer not, but yeah.
That was funny. Good morning, you guys.
I think we should just all whisper and pretend like we're all in the closet. And then we can get to the bathroom. Okay.
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Shout out to you guys, and shout out to honestly CEO Adam Aaron, man. If there's so many people talking about this HYMC play as like the weirdest thing AMC could do, but I think it's just the start of, you know, all the memes out there of acquiring the meme stones. I think that's hilarious. I just think it's the start of, like, I don't know, maybe a transformation, but, you know, also a great hedge for their money. So I'm glad I hopped on when you guys, you know, were obviously tweeting that crap going out live. So it was really cool to see all that communication out there.
Yay, Lucas. It's so awesome. I love waking up. I mean, I just woke up. It's 8 a.m. here, but I love waking up and being in the green and just knowing that other people are on this plane and making money too. It's just a really good feeling. Really quick, I was gonna.
Oh, go ahead, Tara.
Sorry, Jenna. I was gonna tweet out the call, but I can't remember Diane's at the CEO. What's her? Do you remember?
It used to be Gold Agent. She changed it. Let me find it real quick.
Man, I wish we could get her on Twitter Spaces.
It's at Diane G_CEO now. I kind of liked Gold Agent.
I did too. I mean, it makes sense. Gold Agent, just the CEO of a gold mining company. So
I think we're heading back to retest $3.10, yo.
I'm so glad. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna say it. I don't care. I'm so glad I bought a shit ton yesterday. So I'm looking good. So this is awesome. I'm excited.
My girlfriend and I loaded up over like 4,000 shares between Friday and Monday. It just like it seems way too low. It's just
Hot.
like, yeah, it's
Well,
with everything coming out.
the monthly chart for HYMC shows undervalued on the RSI are just coming out of undervalued with MACD looking ready to flip really hard. So besides knowing the company has more cash on hand than debt, that's all you really, it's fun to talk about everything else. But when you have over $1.50 per share that you could immediately use to pay off all your company's debt, plus silver and gold still on hand to sell, I mean, it's any short person that comes out against this, just be like, bro, they have more cash on hand than debt. What's your deal?
I want to add to that. The Highcroft mine, like it's always been AMC GameStop, was like the 8-5 hold AMC GameStop. And I think if it isn't already, now it's like GameStop, AMC, and Highcroft.
Agreed, 100%. I was wondering, did the earnings report happen already, or is that what Diane's coming out to talk about?
No, it didn't happen. I had like 30 people in my YouTube stream waiting for it too, and YouTube shorted me. They are getting reports from NASDAQ that earnings has been estimated to be moved to April 6th, I think. By the link I checked, that's not confirmed. HYMC still has it as today on their website.
It's so
Hey,
weird.
Chance to check out that Dave Lauer report.
Oh yeah, I've been following everything he's been saying about GME and AMC all week, man, because right before what's that?
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, right before he tweeted that, I put that, I was talking to Swing while Swing was putting together his SEC report, which got me to look more in depth at Active Trader Pro, and I was checking the time in sales. Time in sales from open, basically I would say 937.50 to the halt was nothing but green buying pressure slapping the ask. But the problem is The price started going down before the halt happened. How does the price go down on buying pressure hitting the ask? So they did something. Citadel specifically did something as a market maker to flush out buy orders purposely to trigger that volatility to force a halt. I think they knew it was about to squeeze.
Somebody argued to me on that that platform doesn't include all the exchanges. Therefore, the sell orders could have been through other exchanges that weren't listed on that order book.
I don't know. It has almost 12 to 15 exchanges listed on it. I don't know where they would be pushing through. I know the DEA exchange, the EDGX, I think, or XG, is owned by Citadel. And I know that's where all those buy orders were flowing through. And the only thing I saw at that time was DE. All the other exchanges that Active Trader Pro shows, nothing was popping up on any of those exchanges except the DEA. So it's like Citadel took complete control of AMC traffic for over, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. And then when the price started going down before the halt happened, it's just absolutely wild, man. You can see through the time and sales the other exchanges were hitting for a while. There was normal buy and sell traffic going through those other exchanges. Then it just stopped and it was nothing but the DEA. I've never seen that.
That's just what I know other people might be hearing the same argument that I got, and I want you to put that to rest. Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to add something on that point. I was watching, primarily because I quit my job. I'm an options trader on the day here to make a living, but, I watch the flow pretty often, and I was watching, volume and open interest was still moving on AMC during the halt in some of these options chains. A lot of them were based around the $30 call and the $40 call. I saw massive spikes in volume, leading right up to the halt. And my suspicion is what's happening is as the price runs up, these market makers have to write more call options and write more put options based on the underlying stock price. So
they do that on purpose because it dilutes the options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they're creating so much supply on the top side, and they're doing it out of obviously not only manipulation but fear, because these little run-ups and these high volatility run-ups are causing the underlying stock price to go up so high that, obviously they're going to write options for that because that's how they make money on their end when a stock goes up. So effectively they did that, but they included strikes that were so outlandish for this Friday that, they basically baited everybody to come on in to these $40 calls, $50 calls, and was like, come on here, you see this little swing, this price run up? Let's go. People flushed into those. And like you said, something was happening with the bid and the ask during that halt where they're allowed to trade options, they're allowed to trade stock, and they're doing this all right under our nose. And, it's happening. We can see it. It's disgusting.
Hey, really quick, I just want to remind people in here, since we have, almost 200 people in here now, if you can, make sure you tweet out the calls so that other people can find it. Sometimes these calls don't show up at the top and they can be difficult. So if you can, do us a favor, tweet it out. Make sure you're following Spence and Jen up here if you're not already. They're amazing and they're super bullish on AMC and Highcroft, obviously. So get your butts in here, everybody. Wake up and get in here. Diane's going to be going live soon.
Booties.
Eggs and bacon, guys.
Get your booties in here.
Get your ass in here.
Yeah, we have.
Very well said, Lucas. I just want to throw that out there.
We have 4 minutes till Diane. Yeah, it is good to see you, Lucas. We haven't heard from you in a while, man. So welcome back.
Man, I've been on the ship, man. I just quit my job after 5 years. So I've been sailing 8 months out of the year for the past 5 years. Just quit my job, spend more time with family, and come back to my roots at home and help my grandparents out. And, got to live somehow. So options in the market right now. And a midterm
Teach
business
me
cycle.
options. Teach me options. We should do options calls. It'd be so fun.
That'd be crazy. I mean, midterm business cycles, which I think is what the market's in right now. It's like high volatility in every sector, but stocks historically have always rallied during this like midterm business cycle. And regardless of what this Fed says they're going to do, raising rates, they're only talking about raising it up to maybe 1.5% by the end of the year. I don't think, macro speaking, I think we might be good in the short term. Hopefully speaking. Trust me, I want to be a bear too. I mean, I would love to be a bear. It's so hard. It's so hard though.
I think that's just amazing that you've been able to do that, to leave your job, to build a life, and be able to have extra time with your family. I mean, that's something, there's no price tag on that. Time can never be taken back. So I think that's amazing. And if anything, hopefully it motivates other people. I know it's not easy and we don't win every time. Yeah, I mean, and you can't always win, and there are going to be those days where you have to kind of take one on the chin. But at the same time, it's a true testament to how life-changing this all can be for people.
For sure. It's a battle every day. I mean, not just with AMC, but, to make a living. But at the end of the day, I can call myself my own boss, and hopefully pans out for the future. Got some other plans working on, but, hopefully for now, this will keep riding on.
I wanted to throw it out there really quick that gold is up 0.5% too. I don't know, Spence, have you been, or Lucas or Jen, anybody, have you guys been tracking gold along with HYMC? Have you noticed they kind of go together, or?
Yes. I'm tracking gold with HYMC and silver. Silver's extremely undervalued, and it all goes into this COMEX corruption, which is about to be blown apart when Putin decided to put a minimum of 5,000 rubles per ounce of gold and then say we're only going to allow purchases of oil through that. He just stuck a knife into the backs of the banks of America that had become over involved in Russia, which was the biggest mistake they could have possibly made, because the only way any communist government has ever decided to try to come at America is internally through our economics. So what's going to happen is Putin is going to put this new demand on gold, even with inflation trying to be curbed by the current government. The new demand on gold is going to go through the roof. And the problem is, why would you buy gold from the US through any type of exchange that's manipulating the price when you can just buy rubles and then exchange it for gold with the Russian government? So you're going to see a lot of countries end up buying and exchanging for rubles, which makes me mad now, because 3-4 weeks ago when I said I'm going to get on Forex and I'm going to buy some rubles in this dip because I think something fishy's going on, everybody got on Twitter and was like, "No, man, no, that's crazy. You're going to lose all your money, la, la, la." So I kind of peeled back a little bit again, and now the ruble's coming back up because of this action that's currently happening. So you're going to see gold go well over $2,000 an ounce once the COMEX and these American banks who have been hoarding gold like JP Morgan get their freaking throats ripped out. Gold and silver should not be this low in price right now.
100%.
To add to that, what do you think? Sorry, what do you think about the whole Russia accepting the Bitcoin for oil because of the trade changes? What do you think got to do with that price of the Bitcoin going up?
I think everybody is, for the majority, most people on earth that deal in some form of currency are absolutely tired, sick and tired of big government, and they're sick and tired of the current monetary system with, say, the dollar or the pound or whatever. So Putin and his defiant stance, I hate to say, and you guys can hate me for this, he's doing more along the lines of what is good for retail. He hates the American banking system, and it shows. I don't support what's going on in Ukraine, but the issue is look at how much political influence that is extremely corrupt that America has had through Ukraine in the past 20 years. So he's just literally taking the bull by the horns and basically bending over Western American monetary and banking is what he's doing. And
I think, are they about to go live? Are they talking about Highcroft right now?
Yep, let me play it.
Okay.
Uh-oh, here we go. Let me
I mentioned this, I think, a few days ago. We do a series of recurring segments on the show about special investing themes. We're doing one about leverage ETFs. We've done one about short selling. We are starting our recurring segment today on real estate investing. David Vincent from Cadre will join. Hey, look, now we're up there. From Cadre will join us to talk about that at 1 o'clock. We're going to wrap the show up today with our final guest, Dave Callis from the Future Fund, SSND is the ticker there. We're going to talk about investing in innovation in this market. So a lot to get to on the show. Going to ask you all to smash the like, as I always do. And let's roll that intro, AB. Where's our intro at? This is Ben Singular. Thanks for intro. Producer AB. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Havin on the show. Talk some IPOs. Jake Wojacek from Trend Spider. We have
My phone.
shout out to wait, who just said in the chat? Shout out to Cayman Fogel. Never heard of you guys until today. That's okay. We don't take ourselves too seriously. By the way, what happened to our stream deck is broken.
No, it's working. It's magnet, he says.
It's a magnet?
Yeah.
I can't fix that. All right, you fix it. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Hey, all right. Stream deck is back on the stand. Let's go. So a lot to let's just start by pulling up the chart of HYMC. Dude, what is going on?
Why do the courts have to go through?
Seriously, just walking up on. Oh my gosh, this is how we roll every day here at Benzinga. All right, let's pull up a chart of HYMC, and we'll start there. We do have some questions that we very much want to know the answer to, so we're looking forward to Diane. But in the meantime, here's the chart. You can see clear as day. Two things jump out to you, at least jump out to me if I zoom in here. One, this was when they announced they were ceasing mining operations in November, and then you guys know what this is. This is the date of the AMC, the announcement of the AMC investment. Well, it was a co-investment, right? AMC and Eric Sprott both injecting some capital into the business. And ever since then, it's been a story.
Wait, two things real quick, Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer came in the chat saying you mispronounced his name, so I just want to apologize to Cayman. Welcome. You do have an option to become a YouTube member for Benzinga. It's only, $3.99 a month. You get some cool emojis.
Yeah, and more stuff down the line.
More stuff down the line, yeah. It's like one of those NFT projects that comes with real utility.
Right.
Yeah. But what are we looking at? What platform are we looking at this chart on, Spencer?
This is Benzinga Pro. This is Benzinga's real-time news and research terminal. It is browser-based. It is easy to use. It is the core of this company. It is the engine around which this entire business operates here at Benzinga. If you want to try Benzinga Pro for free, you can.
Oh my God.
Everybody gets a free 2-week trial. just click on the link. Oh, wait, where is my link? It's pro.benzinga.com. Put it up on the screen. If you want a discount to your Benzinga Pro subscription, there is a discount link in the description of this video. But free 2-week trial for all, pro.benzinga.com.
I saw a few folks in the chat mentioning the short interest of HYMC. Of course, that's been a story for AMC and GameStop as well. Can you show us where in Benzinga Pro we can find that info?
Yeah, I'm going to just switch on over here to my overview.
So you can go straight from the chart to the overview, which the overview also has a chart on here, but you also get an overview. Look at that, of the different metrics and whatnot of a stock, so we can see the PE.
By the way, these numbers don't reflect the recent at the
Can you give us a couple zooms?
offering.
We can read.
Sorry, too small.
Okay.
All right. These numbers don't reflect the at-the-market offering, I believe.
So the float
it's
just under
delayed,
50
Dana.
mil, and out of that float, more than 10 million shares are held short, which accounts for more than a 20% float, which is well above the average.
And again, these numbers don't reflect the recent at-the-market offering. They will update, but that number is the one I'm looking at, right? 23% short percent float pre-offering. That's not a nothing burger.
Also, Spencer, look at the session volume today already. We're not even at noon yet. We're already at 80 million shares traded. That's bought and sold, and the average volume is like less than 50 million. So you can see there on the chart the volume sticks on the bottom. Things going crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine why. So,
Can't imagine.
Cash on fire. Kyle said I heard Warren Buffett was buying that. Is that true? I don't know, Kyle.
No.
Sounds like a rumor.
Let's throw some cold water on that before it gets into your legs, please.
Oh, I'm tweeting it.
We don't take ourselves very seriously on this show, but like our news desk takes itself extremely seriously. And if we were to put any rumors out like that, we would get. They would come for us. They would not be happy. So let's chill. I know the guys on our news desk are watching. So okay, you know what? Should we just bring Diane on right now?
Yes.
Well, if she's right, maybe she gives us a thumbs up or something.
I see her here backstage. Diane, are you ready?
Oh, she was a double thumbs up.
She says she's ready. All right, here we go. Diane Garrett, welcome to Benzinga Live.
Thank you. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
Great to have you on the show. Let's start with I think the obvious question, or the first question that occurred to me when I found that we were doing this interview is, can you walk us through how exactly the AMC deal came about?
Okay. So, AMC and Eric Scott joined us. Eric Scott and I have known each other for a long time, and he is one of our leading precious metals investors. And so we have been talking, and he knows our asset extremely well, and he knows our team extremely well. And I have a mutual colleague who introduced us. For me to talk to him, he had a similar liquidity issue, when COVID hit. The underlying value of the business, in our case, our asset is still there. You just become under a liquidity crunch. So we were just having a conversation about that, and conversations. Of course, he's made it very well known that he was going to be diversifying into other businesses, and so we've sort of connected through several conversations, and the rest is history.
How long exactly did that process take? I'm just curious, like when this started.
It was
process? Because you announced, I think, on the 15th, right? So.
Announced on the 15th, yes.
Yeah, wow. So that was a quick turnaround.
It was a quick turnaround, yes. And we had been working on a number of financing alternatives and structures at the same time. So, and we were certainly wanting to do something on those fronts when this conversation came out. So, just the reason of all parties were interested, we thought it made a lot of sense. Eric Strad coming along was certainly very important to the company, and certainly to AMC as well. So
between the AMC and Eric Strad investments and the at-the-market offering you just completed, how are you feeling right now about the company's cash position and balance sheet?
pressure has been taken off. You know, liquidity issue, and now we're going to really turn to what we started last year, which is really unlocking this world-class asset. Go forward. So the cash allows us to do that, to deliver that value back to the shareholders, and it takes the immediate pressures off of us. And so now our conversations are focused again, as they should be, back on this unique asset.
Scenario, or are you thinking at all about future offerings or anything like that, or is that off the table for now?
We've got a very long project with a lot of work to do, but for right now, we've got sufficient cash to build plenty of runway down the road and to be able to do the work we need to do, which is exploration and finalizing our technical studies for the larger commercial scale operation. At some point, we will be raising the money to do the construction of that particular component of the operation. But right now, our focus is to complete the work that we started last year and focus on the ground. And we have the resources now, thankfully, to be able to do that.
So let's talk about what's in the ground. As I understand, you're sitting on this deposit of 15 million ounces of gold, billion ounces of silver, big numbers, but extremely difficult to get out of the ground. Can you just talk through the opportunity, but also the challenges of mining these minerals that your feasibility study says you have down there?
Sure. So it's not difficult to process gold and silver. I mean, I've been doing this, in my business for over 30 years, and there's a lot of mining companies who do this every day. It is a very capital-intensive industry, and it takes a lot of planning and a lot of test work and technical study work up front, because by doing that, you mitigate the risk to shareholders as you go into starting up these large-scale operations. So for us, we know the process to recover the gold and silver from Hycroft. It is proven, reliable, well-established. It's been used for over 40 years in our industry, and that's the process that we are employing at Hycroft for the larger scale. Keep in mind, Hycroft's history, it produced over 2 million ounces of gold since the 80s and 90s. We're now transforming it into the larger scale commercial operation is what we're doing. So we have to first complete our feasibility studies on this particular process. And we started that last year, and we'll be completing it throughout the balance of this year. A lot of test work goes into that. And then we'll be working to do some detailed engineering work and then constructing the milling portion of that asset.
So can you just walk us through that process a little bit further? So feasibility study by the end of the year, then you have to do construction, and just walk us through exactly the timeline for when maybe you can actually start the commercialization aspect of this.
Sure. And right now, we're still recovering gold and silver off the pads from the prior operation, and we'll continue to do that until it's no longer economic to do so. We will complete a PFS, pre-feasibility study, or feasibility study once we conclude all of our test work this year. We've done an enormous amount of test work already, and we started that last year. So we expect to have that out to the market sometime early in the new year of 2023. And then from there, go into detailed design work. The beauty of Hycroft is we have an enormous amount of infrastructure at site already. So we've got all of our crushing circuits and the refinery and all of that. We just need to construct the mills. Construction for our project can take 18 months to 2 years. And actually, that's quite quick. And the reason that is quick is because we have a lot of infrastructure already on site. Once we make the decision to go into commercial production. So we're several years out still from commercial production. But, keep in mind, we're also conducting a big exploration program. And one of the best value drivers that you see in our industry is for identification and discovery of new material. I mean, our land position is larger than Manhattan. And yet, as big as our resource currently is, it only sits on 2% of that land position. So we have a lot of opportunity to not only expand it and make it bigger, but also drill out some higher grades. So those are things that are really important value drivers for the project and for our shareholders as we work to complete our studies and prepare ourselves for commercial operations.
I would be curious to get your take, Diane, on just the current commodity prices out there. Obviously, they're elevated, or they've been elevated compared to where they had been for quite some time. Of course, there's no guarantee that Hycroft will be able to, or that these prices will stay high long enough for when Hycroft starts mining. But like, what is your take on the state of commodity pricing right now?
Well, I've learned long ago never to forecast gold and silver prices because my crystal ball is quite cloudy.
Great answer.
But let me also say that gold and silver are very important commodities, along with nickel and copper and a host of others. But the fundamentals are extremely strong for these commodities right now because we have a lot of geopolitical uncertainty due to the unfortunate events in Eastern Europe. We also see inflation on the rise, and all of those things tend to drive gold prices higher and the precious metals higher because they are a store of value and they are a hedge against a declining dollar and inflationary items. So all the fundamentals are very strong for that. But also let's keep in mind that as we talk about solar energy, well, you have to have silver for the photovoltaic cells of solar energy. We talk about electric vehicles. You have to have these metals and commodities, nickel and copper also, for the electric vehicles. So this whole Green New Deal, as we go green, we have to be able to have the metals for that. So we tend to get enamored with gold and silver, and we think of it, but it has an important application in our defense, in our economy, and industrial applications as well. So all of the metals are very strong for this commodity to continue to rise.
That's a very good point. We've been focused on gold and silver the whole time, but can you just explain what other metals exposure Hycroft has?
We are predominantly a gold and silver deposit. That is what we have. You typically find gold and silver associated with each other. Sometimes silver can be associated with zinc, but in our particular deposit, we are a gold and silver deposit, and those are the metals that.
Got it.
So Diane, after the investment was announced, AMC CEO Adam Aaron said in the press release, he would saying this was a great move for shareholders, and he caught a lot of flack for that. There were a lot of critics, and since then, in the 2 weeks, those critics have kind of been, or Adam Aaron kind of has proven those critics wrong because the share price, obviously, HYMC, has gone up so much. Is there any worry that, like, the more the stock goes up, the more Hycroft stock goes, the higher the chances are of AMC maybe taking some profits to try to realize some of those gains for its shareholders?
Well, I obviously can't speak to what AMC plans to do with its shareholding position.
Diamond hands.
But as investors come into stocks, from time to time, they can trade around their positions. Look, AMC is very excited about the asset. They see the value in it. They see the importance of investing in gold and silver at this particular time in the world. And certainly coming alongside Eric Sprott, who is a very long-term value investor and has done extremely well investing in unique assets such as Hycroft. I think they're here to be with us for a while. We have a lot to do on the project.
But you haven't discussed, like, with Adam Aaron or with Eric Sprott, like, long term, how long they plan on holding the stock or anything like that?
No. Those are their personal investment decisions.
Diane, I've seen that Hycroft had previously said the 10K would be released by end of the quarter, or March 31st. Any idea when we can expect that?
We announced that it would be filed March 31st today, so that filing will be made. That is our deadline for filing the year-end 2021 10K.
All right. So there's a couple hours left in the quarter.
Excited to.
We'll be watching. Waiting for that.
Today.
Yeah. What do you want investors, and I say investors because obviously as the CEO, you are less interested in the short-term price action, more interested in the long-term price action. So what do you want investors to know at the end of the day about Hycroft and about the opportunity?
Well, look, there's no doubt in our industry that being in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction that's geopolitically stable is extremely important, and it's never been more important than it is today. So we're in a great jurisdiction. We have permits for our operation. We have infrastructure on site. We've got a phenomenal world-class resource that needs the TLC to develop it, and we have the right team with the right experience for this particular asset. We have a track record of successfully delivering value for our shareholders through the discovery all the way to
Shorts are definitely piling
construction and production for our shareholders. So now that the focus is off of the balance sheet, I would say pay attention to the work that we now are able to do, that we've been wanting to do, because we now have the resources to do it. So we have a lot of value left to create at Hycroft, even though it is a substantial asset today. And so we're very excited about that. We're going to have a lot of news flow coming out over the next year. And so we ask everybody pay attention.
So that's the message to your investors. What's the message to the other side, to the bears?
To the bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't count us out. Everybody counted us out before, and look what was able to happen. So that's the message for anybody. I mean, Hycroft, you know, this is a phenomenal asset. Gold and silver are the place to be in investments, and we're very excited to have these 2 new shareholders, as well as this whole new world of shareholders that we've welcomed into Hycroft. We're very excited about that, and we're going to do some great things here.
Before we let you go, some questions from the chat. A few people are asking about a potential dividend. Any plans for that down the road?
I'm a big believer in dividends. Of course, you generate those once you're generating your positive cash flow from the operation, right? But we believe in giving back to the shareholders. So dividends are very important in my book, and it also is a very good way of holding, you know, all of the team and those of us who work hard at this company accountable. So the money's first, you know, go to the shareholders by way of dividend, and then you redeploy the other monies back into the asset to continue delivering value. So very much in favor of that.
And then just last one before I let you go here. Were you surprised at all about the move or by the move that the stock made upon the AMC announcement?
Yes and no. You know, certainly the volumes that we're trading and the trajectory of the stock has been quite something to see. But look, when Eric Sprott alone invests in mining stocks can do extremely well. They can, you know, even triple and go even higher because he's got a massive following and he's a very sophisticated precious metals investor. With AMC, sure, because a lot in our industry said, wow, that's like nobody does anything like that, right? Thinking out of the box, trying to be creative and bringing in a new set of investor base. And then, of course, you have all of AMC's shareholders and followers who, you know, then are saying, well, who is Hycroft? So the amount of volume and the speed at which the stock has moved was very exciting to see. But
I bet.
Not entirely surprised just because of the gravity of those 2 names.
And you're a significant shareholder, right, Diane?
I am, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for us too, just as watchers of the stock market. It was exciting to watch. Diane Garrett, the CEO of Hycroft Mining. Dan, a pleasure to talk to you today. We very much look forward to seeing the 10K out at some point today, and would love to have you back on again down the line.
I'll be happy to come back on. Thanks so much for your time, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Sorry to cut her off at the end.
Come on, Spence.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, Diane.
That was
love having you on.
unintentional.
Anytime you guys have news, anything like that, reach out to us. We'd love to get you back on the show.
All this being said, let's take a quick gander at the actual before the price action today. Guys, we don't control the price action. I want that to be clear, okay?
If we control the price action of stocks, I would just make all of them go up all the time.
We wouldn't be here if we could control the price action of stocks. That would be insane. We wish we could, believe me, but we can't. I mean, there's a lot of questions from the chat. Some good, some not so good. What happened to our chat bot moderator? I think he got fired yesterday.
With the robot one?
Yeah, the robot. Did we fire Nightbot?
I'm very bearish these sentient AI robots.
All right.
Hold on. Our producer is telling us what happened with the bot.
All right, so the
Do you want to keep listening, Spence, or should we put it? Okay. I'll mute myself.
So Twitter tried to play it automatically while I was trying to YouTube it. That's what the double feedback was. I don't know why Twitter played it automatically, but thank you for playing that.
Plan B. Hopefully it sounded okay.
Since they started their cast, we hit $2.87, and then it was immediately knocked back down to the 250 line, which it's trying to fight to gain support at. So somebody came in on that and just massively shorted this fucker, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, it
They
just
took advantage. Yeah, listen to that.
What's that, Matthew?
They took advantage of being able to short it while retail was listening to the call.
Well, any news that's going to come out, they're immediately going to put downward pressure on it to make retail think, oh, something bad was said. Why did Hycroft get shorted and knocked down as soon as Diane Garrett was on the news? They do it purposely and intentionally to get your mental state going. Maybe something's not going on so good there.
Yeah, but the apes that are in this, I mean, we're smooth brain here. You know, we're not leaving. So it doesn't, that kind of shit. I mean, we've seen an AMC before. It doesn't scare me as an investor.
Not advice, but not that dip for the bounce.
Yeah, if this doesn't bounce 240, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I just looking for the long term. I mean, they asked, when do you see to start generating cash flow from the operation? And she said, our project could be complete within, I heard, five-ish years, and the operation's up and running and really going smooth. And if that's the case, if we're looking for 5 years, I mean, gold and silver prices in 5 years, if you ask me, and I mean, going back to, when I started investing 6 years ago when I was 19, I was a gold and silver bug right away just because of history. But I mean, there's so much manipulation in that market alone that I think in 5 years, those prices, if things around the world and our economy are going the way we are, they're going to be making money just at the right time.
We have to remember they are already processing now too. I think part of that is what maybe, I don't know, because it seemed like she got she started talking about like a 2-year process and stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting to watch the ticker kind of move with the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
So they filed their 10K today, right? So there should be then an earnings call.
No, they have not filed their 10K yet.
Oh,
They're
okay.
going to file their 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting. We're just waiting for that. I've gotten countless DMs from people saying, when are we going to know the earnings? So, yeah, we're just waiting for them to file that.
They have to file it in the next few hours. So I'm sitting here just refreshing the Edgar page because it should be on Edgar first. Then they should announce it on their website. If they have a call or not, doesn't sound to me like they're going to have a call. If they do, I'll try to call in. Their last earnings, they had a teleconference, so.
Yeah, I haven't heard if they're having an actual call, but yeah, do let us know. I'll keep my eyes out too, Spence, if you see anything.
Guys, this is like off topic. I have good news. I don't have COVID. Yay. I have the cold. This is the cold. Thank God. Sorry, I know that was really off topic. I have one of those at-home tests, you get the 15-minute test that you take at home and stuff, and yeah, it's negative, so good.
That's awesome.
Hope it can stay away.
I have one of those at-home tests too, and I was just recently sick, and I just decided I didn't want to use it. I kind of wanted to not know if I had COVID or not. I'm like, I'm just going to see if I feel better.
We've got like 4 boxes and there's like 2 tests in each box. So I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, we have all these, extra tests. I might as well just, find out.
When I'm sick, I just stay home.
Yeah, I am home. I'm not going to go anywhere.
People come around me with the flu.
Don't spread it.
Yeah. COVID or not, people come around me with the flu. I get pissed. They're like, what's up, man? I'm like, are you sick? Like, yeah.
Oh, man, do the right thing. I don't care if you have COVID, but if you got the flu or if you got the cold or anything that you're going to pass to someone else, just stay home. It's just common sense.
I'll kick you in the shin. If you come around me and you're sick, I'll mess you up. I hate getting sick.
Dude, I was doing self-checkout just to avoid people because I won't say it out loud. Just was like, I'm not going to go around people. This woman walks up to help me because these flowers I was buying for my aunt would not scan. And she pulls off her mask to help me and she's sick. And then I ended up sick. I'm like, oh my God, why? Why me? I knew it was going to happen too. As soon as I heard her voice and she's like sniffling, I'm like, why would you have a mask? How did you pull it off to help me?
She took it off so she could. That's
it's my theory that people during the pandemic, people have this weird psychology of when they are sick, they want to be around as many people as possible. It's so crazy. There's some who mentally know to stay home and whatnot, but I see so many people getting sick and they're immediately like knocking on my door or, hey, do you want to hang out? And I'm like, I thought you just said you were sick. Oh yeah, but it's not that bad. I'm like, no,
like that.
You're sick.
Freaking my brother's kids or my brother and his ex-wife, like they don't care if they're sick. They won't even tell you until like you're sick already. It's like, well, thanks for getting us sick too. Yeah, that's just how they are. They're kind of pricks like that.
Okay, so back on the topic.
Yes, back on the topic.
I think people are like, okay, let's talk about HYMC. But really, I'm just wondering, Spence, are you checking prnewswire.com for the update on the 10K filing, or are you checking somewhere else?
Edgar, the SEC website, which it should be filed on first before any newswire announces it. So.
And you have that? Have you tweeted out that link?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
This is the official SEC depository for filings. So. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Twitter, why the space calls are coming in so quiet on PC. Hope they fix it though.
Hey, Spence, what were your thoughts on the interview?
I thought it was great. I think she was very honest in telling the community exactly the time frame and path that we're on. I think it's all bullish. And I think, like we all know, they're already producing gold and silver. Their mining operations for a certain mine area were shut down in November, which saved a ton of overhead for the company. So now they have $198 million in cash to get as much gold and silver out of the ground the next 3 years as they can. And I'm very, very confident that the price of gold is going to go well over $2,000 an ounce. Well over.
Yeah, agreed. I just wish it was more clear in the interview. I think she sort of got, went from question to question, and then between there wasn't that question of like what is happening currently, what are the operations now. So it made it almost seem like nothing's happening for like 2 years, which isn't the case.
Well,
yeah, that was confusing for sure.
Well, that's exactly what I heard is basically they're like, you take the operation that they're under now and you're talking about commercializing it with the price of the metals just going up. I mean, what's the revenue going to look like when they get to commercial operations as opposed to what they are now?
Exactly. That's a good point. Their run-of-mill operations now are nowhere near commercial-sized operations. So in the next 2 to 3 years, when they finally are fully stood up, the amount of gold that they'll be producing, gold and silver, I did notice she said we're mainly a gold and silver mine, right? That's our thing. But she did kind of hint on nickel when she was talking about precious metals. And I'll tell you right now, if they've come across any type of nickel deposit currently, that's huge. I kind of like that she said that. So, but PJ
agreed.
PJ just made a really good post.
It didn't run on that speculation. My bad.
Oh, go ahead. I lost it. Let me go find PJ's post.
I was going to say, going back,
I think.
what you were saying about the 2 to 5 year thing. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier before we got talking about the COVID thing, I think, is that when they have operations fully up and running, I think is when gold and silver prices are probably going to be at all-time highs. I mean, 2 to 5 years, that's going to be, if we're looking at the same inflation here and a still dovish Fed that is not interested in raising rates at all, really, to fight inflation, I mean, consumers are going to get smoked unless they invest in gold and silver, honestly, for the long haul.
Yeah, and see the thing going on with Russia right now and the gold and silver market and the squeezes and other precious metals, this is going to end the COMEX price fixing that's been going on for years. Silver is incredibly undervalued right now. So,
how many companies are going to follow suit with that American investment in the gold and silver?
I think a lot. I think banks, there's been articles out talking about American banks have been hoarding more gold and silver this past couple years than ever before. But now with one of the main commodities that the world needs, which is oil, coming out of Russia, you know, Biden's talking about buying from Venezuela, which is a way, way worse dictatorship type country than Russia. Venezuela was running over their own people with armored cars a few years ago. It was like a really bad deal. So if you're not buying oil from Russia and you're not producing, and OPEC tells you to go after yourself, and then Russia puts their ruble to the gold and offers that as payment for their oil, he's going to literally crush Western banking overnight. So America's going to have no choice but to increase gold production as quickly as possible. And if not, they better get the oil turned back on, the oil production turned back on. Right now, signing an executive order for an Emergencies Production Act to get more battery metals out of the ground is not going to help our situation when we need oil to even do that. You need oil for everything. You cannot cut off energy independence. And I'll tell you right now, American oil production is probably 20 to 100 times more clean and efficient than how other countries do it. So saying that we're hurting the environment by producing American oil is just silly.
Instead of an arms race, it's going to be a gold race.
Next gold rush. We'll look at the amount of electronics coming in too. So Tara.
Hey, dude. I was just gonna say maybe we could play. I had a clip, or I kind of wanted to follow up what she just said, Diane, with the CEO Adam clip, if you don't mind. But it's a 5-minute interview. Is that okay?
Yeah. Do you want me to try to play it over my speaker now that I got this worked out?
Sure, if you can, but it's the one with Jim Cramer, but I really wanted everyone to listen at the very end what he mentions, because it really does seem like they're trying to drive home this point of like, oh, it's going to be $1 billion and it's going to take years, for this to happen and for things to even be for the mines to be, built and operating. But the thing is if you listen carefully, Adam clearly says, but it's only going to take tens of millions to do the exploration. And who knows what they're going to find. Like you said, Spence, she even mentioned nickel. Today, nickel is just running. I mean, there's other potential there that no one's really wanting to mention or even talk about. They just keep trying to drill this, it's going to take a long time, it's going to take a lot of money, building, that stuff. So just keep in mind there's other things happening as well. In the meantime, were you able to pull it up, Spence?
Yep, I'll play it right now. Let's see if this works properly.
Great move from the point of view that, hey, listen, why shouldn't companies try to figure out attractive ways to make money? But I also felt that if you didn't have such a strong share base of people who really love you, that it might have been interpreted as something that was too different from your core.
Well, we knew we were going to take some flack when we did it. I think I read comments that it was bizarre, it was random, it was stupid, it was idiotic. Except there was one thing that we were certain of. We were going to make a lot of money. Now, you wouldn't think that the normal core competence of a movie theater company is gold mining or silver mining. But in this case in Hycroft, we found a company that was exactly like AMC a year ago, where it had great assets, in this case, silver and gold in the ground, millions of ounces. But it had a cash squeeze, it had a liquidity problem. And our company lived through that. We were expert in raising money. And sure enough, it's only 2 weeks after we did the Hycroft mining deal, we announced Friday night that we've arranged or helped to arrange for $195 million of equity to come into this mining company in 2 weeks. It's already a huge success story.
Well, but let me follow up on what you always said would happen. You felt that you could go on the offense in theaters. There are many theaters that have gone under. Obviously, if people return because of these big hits, you can make a lot of money. Why not stick with your core competence? Because it seems like that it's coming your way anyway.
Well, we're going to do that, what you just described. There are three things that we're going to do. Remember that the AMC shareholders armed us with a $1.8 billion war chest to play on the offensive. Those numbers as of December 31, 21, the last quarter end. And we said we're going to do three things with that money. We're going to grow and improve our existing core theater business. And we've already added about a third of the ArcLight Pacific circuit to our system through individual negotiations with landlords. I can tell you that there are going to be more announcements coming about more theaters being added into our system, good ones, important ones, and markets that we value. Second thing, we're going to pay down some debt. And third thing, we were going to look for transformational M&A opportunity, and that's what we found in Hycroft mining.
Well, Adam, it's David. You know, again, then back to this idea of core competence and what you just said, you're experts in raising money. It would seem to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you see a real opportunity here as a competence in terms of finding another business perhaps that is in a cash crunch position and applying what you now have as this following of your shareholders to basically turn their fortunes around, whatever they may be. In this case, it was Hycroft. The next one might be another one. I mean, is that the new core competence of AMC, to sort of use the memesters that you have to help turn around the fortunes of a company because they're willing to put money behind it?
Well, look, I think I have to say the answer to your question is yes. And we proved it because in addition to the money that Eric Sprott put in, who's a gold and silver mining expert, so we have some real credibility in the investment in Hycroft, because if it wasn't an impressive mining potential, Sprott wouldn't be there with us with his own money and the money we put in. But like, we just raised another $139 million in 9 trading days. $195 million going into a company that 3 weeks ago had a market, I guess it's 2 weeks ago, had a market cap of $19 million. This is an enormous amount of capital that the capital markets are allowing us to inject.
Yeah, and was facing potentially its own cash crunch. But I mean, they're going to need as much as $1 billion to make this true transition. Isn't that correct? To sort of get that new mill to process what remains in terms of the mine when it comes to sort of the oxide ore running out, and then being able to process the sulfide ore. Is that correct?
Well, we are going to leave the running of the gold and silver mining company to the experts. We're experts in balance sheets. Eric Sprott is expert in gold and silver. So is Hycroft Mining. But what you described is basically true, although there are exploration sites not yet in full production that are valued at levels that are infinitely greater than a $19 million market cap. This company was basically priced at bankruptcy levels because it was facing corporate debt a few weeks after we invested, had we not invested. And so,
understood.
Yes, if we want to go into full production, we're going to have to put in a milling operation. If we want to go into greater exploration, it only takes tens of millions of dollars to explore more than the 2% of the 71,000 acres that currently sit at the Hycroft mine in northern Nevada.
Yeah. That's the part I was talking about. And that's sort of what I wish that she would have had the time or opportunity to touch on, rather than this kind of I don't know, there were certain things that weren't said that I wish could have been a little bit more honed in on, but I'm sure hopefully she'll get another opportunity in the future.
So we just got shorted extremely hard, and it bounced extremely hard directly off the bottom of my kill box dip buy zone. So I'll be surprised if we don't retake 250 here in a little bit. This was used specifically to scare out investors. This interview, as soon as the Benzinga interview started, we started getting either a massive dump of shares in a sale or extremely high shorting. It's not surprising whatsoever. This is why I think they are trying to drop earnings, without any big announcement coming out. So,
and don't underestimate them tanking it so that institutions can get in at a better price.
Absolutely.
Benzinga's question was absolutely designed to create a negative narrative by kind of narrowing the questioning down to what they wanted to portray.
What's up, Swing?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sure can.
So one thing that's very interesting about this price action is that the Commons is now currently trading under where it opened. However, both the warrants are actually trading up. According to Webull, there's a CL warrant, CW warrant, up 13.5%, and the CL is trading up 8%. I find that very interesting that there's such a divergence between the Commons and the warrants. That's very unusual. You would think they would travel together. So I think there's some going on where people are, treating them against each other or something like that.
Quite possibly. I know this price action is really wonky. I know that we had really good upward movement this morning that was just completely canceled out. It's not like we bounced any type of hardcore resistance anywhere. 289 was our last point. I guess we got kind of close to that, but I think it was more or less just to try to scare out retail investment out of the stock.
Yeah, I think that they were using the timeline in their line of questioning to create, while the apes don't have the patience to hold out.
Yeah.
Your profits, and that's nowhere near
see,
our thinking.
They've got to give estimates out in a time frame that's realistic. Now, could they speed up that considerably because of the amount of cash they have on hand? Absolutely. They could call in 3 to 4 different companies to come in and expedite any type of processing they wanted for research, for excavation, for surveying. I highly doubt they're going to wait with gold prices coming up for a one-man team operation to get it done. They're probably going to bring some more people in. And HYMC is already coming back up above 240 now, which was one of my support lines, resistance lines, coming out of the buy zone, the kill box. So I think the Benzinga thing was just an attempt to take advantage of everybody listening on the call and try to shake out paper hands for sure.
I don't know. Something's funny. I'll bring out a little bit of the tinfoil hat. I don't do it very often, but I don't know how many people are there in this call, over 300 or something like that. As soon as I said something about retail investors buying gold, I mean, I was watching the GDX and I was watching the GDXJ today, and as soon, like pretty much 5 minutes after I said something, both the GDX and GDXJ had a crap ton of red candles, and not only them, the underlying stocks within them had the same similar types of candles. So I just think that's kind of funny. I don't know who might be listening.
It's totally natural.
Oh yeah, of course.
The power to fix the price of precious metals is about to be taken away from all these
can't wait
banks, exchanges. The paper trading, the gold, the precious metal paper trading industry is going to get destroyed. People want physical assets. That's why Sprot's deal's a little better than most, because they actually have a physical asset traded fund. But the truth is that America, as the number 4 production size in the world, is a joke. I really see America end up becoming number 3 or 2 in the next few years, especially with semiconductors becoming more produced in America, which is going to happen in the upcoming years. I think you're about to see a global shift in power in the financial markets very drastically, just because of what Putin just did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys follow Ben Epsilon. He has this website called the Epsilon Theory. He's got some good insight. He's a pretty well-endowed investor. He's got some credit to him. He's got some buddies in the system, but he talks about price fixing in the gold and silver markets, basically the same way that, you know, everybody in the mainstream now is adopting crypto and Bitcoin and CNBC and everything like that. You know, they create these spot ETFs like SLV or GLD. And the way he explains it, for anybody in this call that might not know what the GLD ETF is or what the SLV ETF is, it's a way for banks and hedge funds to manipulate the underlying price of gold in our economy. I mean, he calls it gold trademark, gold exclamation trademark, and he calls the SLV ticker silver exclamation point trademark. And I mean, it's a perfect, simple way to understand it. If you don't know Ben Epsilon, you should go check out his Twitter, but he's got some really great theories and actual facts about price fixing in the gold and silver markets. And I like that you have that idea, Spence, that, you know, that could potentially be coming to a close here if Putin really does take the strong hand here, which I think he probably will.
Well, he's going to correct, as bad as it sounds, he's going to correct a lot of financial corruption in the world, and the price of gold and silver are going to be evaluated correctly for once. And I literally would not be surprised to see gold go over 3,000 an ounce and silver around $50. So I'm pretty stoked about what's coming. You got to understand, I'm not supporting Putin in anything he's doing, right?
Absolutely.
That's just what I'm seeing.
No.
But I'll tell you who I do not support is the American financial institutions, who are causing global economic disasters every 10 years. So,
and worse.
Why did they remove the 100 emoji from Spaces?
Because it was good.
Hearts. I love the hearts, but like, come on, man, that was 100% facts right there.
I think there should be both the hearts and the 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
Twitter deciding
and
what
get rid of the stupid peace sign. No one does peace signs. Get rid of that. We don't want peace. No, I'm just kidding. The laughing face is good, though.
Yeah, I like the fist bump. The fist bump they had, but
yeah. What's up, Darth?
Hey, man. Just on the Twitter emojis, yeah, I'm upset that they switched them because I don't know about you guys, but I used to be able to play rock, paper, scissors because we had the fist bump, the peace sign,
yeah,
clap. And now we can't do that anymore, so I'm kind of pissed about that. But anyway, no. Spence, Tara, Jen, thanks for with playing that because I was driving back from Massachusetts, so I just got to sit back and listen to that whole thing for a bit. Right, so a lot of you guys know me, some of you just don't, but whatever. When I speak, the things that I try and say, I try to be very careful about my wording, especially because of all of, the listening and whatever is going on. So when I listen to both the interviews there, the first one and then the second one that Tara played, I really try to focus on the things that aren't specifically said. And I really think that and I do understand the direction of the Bazang thing, that they were leading in a specific direction. And I don't think that they got where they wanted to go. They did try and push a narrative a little bit, but I think there was a great deal of control on her side to be able to, kind of be like, all right, I know where this is going, blah, blah, But what wasn't said, I think, really brings the whole credence to that there's more going on here than we think. Like her comment about thinking outside the box. and the comments about that where we know what's in the ground. It doesn't necessarily have to be immediately pulled out of it for this to be a valuable asset. So I just, man, God, I want that. That commodity back, crypto, gold back, whatever, silver back, just seems to be, I don't know. It's like, it's almost like it's the carrot that we just can't quite reach because nobody's ready to come out and announce it yet. But man, what wasn't said, I think, is really powerful in addition to what was said. So thanks a lot, guys. Yeah. And just on a side note, Swing, I'm pulling all that DD together for you, and I will get that out to you in DMs today. So thanks for your patience on that, man.
Adam Aaron
said over back apes.
Adam Aaron's announced multiple times that they're really working on the crypto. So even if AMC releases a crypto soon here now, all they have to do later is say, we've decided to take our cryptocurrency and now back each coin by 0.0000 ounces of silver at a later time. They just have to announce that, file the paperwork, and have it stored somewhere, or a lot of land issued out to them specifically in a mining lease from Hycroft saying, this is yours. We know there's this much silver in the ground. This is what you can use. So I think it's going to happen regardless. If not, even AMC crypto is now backed up by AMC theaters with $1.8 billion in cash and a 38% stake in Hycroft Mine that has billions in gold and silver and 198 million in cash. So they've created this untouchable, unofficial conglomerate of institutions backed by billions of dollars of natural resources and retail consumer value. The market cap for AMC right now should be twice what it is. And in time, it's going to be. Imagine if Adam Aaron comes out and does another investment in a like company with, say, some type of oil production company that is undervalued at the time, but midterms flip next year, Red takes back over Congress and they say, no, we need to start drilling for oil again. And they triple their money on a natural gas investment company that's been hit hard. That Adam Aaron has the potential to do any of that right now. So,
right. Darth, I think that'd be a really cool thing. If AA did, do this cryptocurrency that's gold or silver back, I think it's a great idea, But what do you guys think?
I think you should back it by Mithril.
I mean, anything backed by a physical asset, is obviously better than not. We have shares that are backed up by what? I mean, underlying ownership in the company, yes, but what does that matter if they're just going to create millions and possibly billions of synthetic shares that dilute our ownership in the company? I mean, if they were to do something like that, that would be truly anti-system, and we would be the ones to profit from it because think about the American economy when the dollar was backed by gold. I mean, that was some of the most prosperous times for America, and the only reason things went wrong is we created our own Federal Reserve to manipulate gold and silver supply. I mean, it's the same thing that has happened to pretty much almost every world government. And if we back a security token or if we back a dividend by a physical asset such as gold or silver, I mean, it would blow the minds of institutions.
I actually have a dollar bill in my hand, series 1957A with a blue mark that is backed up by silver. So I'm glad I kept it. I might, I should actually, maybe I should send that to Adam Aaron. So what's really cool is what everybody kind of missed a little bit was Diane said photovoltaics. Silver is used in everything from photovoltaics to electrical wiring to cameras and mirrors because it's one of the best light reflective sources on the planet. So I'm hoping in the long run with the push on solar that they make contact with Musk and say, hey, Tesla Solar, you guys are going to need all these products for production. why don't you start securing it now before silver takes off through the roof and they make a massive commitment to that? That would be something
I didn't
else.
think of that. Wow.
Well, imagine if silver actually gets valued correctly and the price goes up, photovoltaics are going to get extremely expensive. So not just that, tech too. It's time for everybody to get contracted silver and gold ready to go at a set price for a certain amount, which could be very, very, very good for profits for Highcroft.
I want to add, as a retail investor, and not financial advice at all, but as a limited experience trader with a huge learning curve over the past year, what I see as a retail trade is that it's not the current manipulation swing price at the current prices, but it's the accumulation of shares for whatever manipulation at the higher current value of what you're buying now. So as my opinion is, it's not about whether I'm up or down now on their manipulation at the price now. It's how many shares I can accumulate now for whatever the price is in the future, which, in my opinion, a lot of these ape trades are going to be significantly higher.
So HYMC was attempting, it was back positive 2%. It's fighting that $2.40 line, which we pretty much opened at
yesterday. Yeah, that reminds me of yesterday. You know, where we're at night right now. It's crazy.
The other thing that I picked up from the call that I think is interesting is the concept of Diane talking about Eric Sprott and AMC potentially trading around their positions. I mean, with the number of shares they have, if AMC had 1 million shares that they were actively trading today and were selling near the peak and scooping back up towards the bottom, they could literally produce millions of dollars every single day. If I don't know if they are that sophisticated, if they would go down that road, but it's an interesting concept for them to potentially do.
I mean, how does that work for taxes if they're trying to flip millions of shares? And I don't know. I think she kind of answered it without answering it. They could make a ton of money. I think they would have to have somebody handle it for them, though. I don't think the AMC finance department would be necessarily good. I'm wondering, considering that swing, that's a good question. Where are they actually holding their shares at? Is it a specific brokerage or what? That's something I want to find out. Where's AMC actually holding their Highcroft shares?
Hope it's not with JP Morgan.
Don't they got to be careful of like the pump dump manipulation of doing it, of a low cap stock?
You know, at this point in time, can't even answer that, because what we're seeing in the market, especially the other morning, to AMC, it seems like it's just time to fight fire with fire. Like, okay, yeah, we pumped and dumped a stock and made $30 million, so we'll pay the $100,000 SEC fee. Thanks.
Yeah, so you're going after us. Well, why don't you check out Citadel, because you went after us and then come back to us.
Citadel pays the bills. What we should do is have AMC invest into some Congress people and have Gary Gensler as a speaker on theater screen across all the AMC theaters for like $250,000, and then they can just work for us from now on.
Did you guys notice one other thing during that interview about how they kept hammering on how long will Adam hold? How long is AMC going to hold? That was such a weird question to even be asked of her, the CEO. That's like saying, how long are your shareholders going to hold your stock? No one, how would she know that? Like, she can't be told that, and she wouldn't know that. And even if she did know that, she wouldn't share that. So it was framed in such a way because people have fudded AMC so hard by saying insider trading, insider selling. I'm sorry, not insider trading, insider selling. So I think that was done so purposefully because they knew she wouldn't answer. There's no answer for that. I feel like any, other CEO wouldn't even be asked a question like that. Do you know when your, this such and such investor is going to sell their shares? Like, what? That was just really bizarre to me.
Yeah, but she handled it very well. So
it was a loaded question. That's what kind of question it was, because they knew she couldn't answer that.
Those guys were derpy as fuck, man. Excuse my language, but it took a lot for me to sit and listen to them guys and then hear my name called nonstop.
Yeah, I know. That guy gives Spencer a bad name.
Hey, Spencer. Hey, Spencer. It's like, dude, just say, hey, dude. You don't need to call him Spencer every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that someone gets in Diane's ear and says, now that you have a large amount of, social media sentiment and following on you, all eyes kind of on you, sort of like Adam Aaron, has with all of us. I hope that someone can sort of be like a little birdie in her ear and just mention the fact that there are media outlets that basically no media outlet is on our side. Like, they're not on your side, Diane. They're not on Adam's side. They're here to FUD people out of the plays. And honestly, the only one that I trust is Charles Payne. If anything, I would love to see him get an opportunity to have Diane on his show. But other than that, I feel like don't do these Benzinga. These guys are just terrible.
I agree. And it would be really cool. I mean, she's already on Twitter,
her value is just too high at this point to reduce it down, I feel like, and dilute herself to a little sideshow Benzinga interview, to be honest.
Wouldn't it be awesome to come out and said, I have no intentions of selling any of my HYMC shares until 2023?
Yes, Matthew. I think that would be amazing. I hope that happens. I think, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Adam to do something like that after seeing and hearing an interview like that and what happened with the share price. I know he's paying attention.
Yeah. And are you going to be interested in holding AMC shares after the squeeze, Tara?
Who am I talking to?
Troy.
Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Okay. That's a good thing to clear up. I hate when people just like say things about people. I'm not saying that's happened, but it happens with all the other people. Sometimes they're like, they're just here for the pump and dump, and Al and them kind of.
I've been here for over a year. If I was here for a pump and dump, I would have sold in June and been on my merry way with $500,000.
Same here.
I definitely agree. So I plan on, fucking being happy after this squeeze and chatting with you is all I'm saying. And all the lines that are being drawn, let's make sure we draw them around us, not between us, kind of thing. So I just had to ask that question because I'm the same, bro. I'm gonna be here like a 5-year investment. I'm gonna be here as an investor. I'm not, I'm gonna do what I do, but I'm gonna be here with shares.
Yeah, I'm planning to take my profits, from MOAS, but I also plan to have, X amount of shares or something, always invested into AMC.
It goes back to what I said is apes are basically not in the pump and dump because we're just accumulating shares. You can go from June to now and it's proven.
Most of us over 12 months. Capital gains already locked in. So they want to keep calling us meme stock investors and whatnot. We're now one of the largest grouping of individual investors in the world.
We are literally like a hedge fund. And Adam Aaron just weaponized all of us and said, hey guys, by the way, we're investing in this mine that was, having liquidity issues, and check it out. And then here we are saving another company, saving jobs. I mean, what the media isn't portraying and isn't saying is how amazing of a job Adam has done. How many jobs have been saved because of all of us basically rescuing AMC, and now him taking companies under his wing. That's why I wanted to make that meme of him as Thanos, but like the good version of Thanos, who's literally going to go take different companies and rescue them out of the dirt that are being heavily shorted and targeted.
Have you guys never seen the meme I created like 6 months ago?
No.
Let me find it. I'll post it.
Yeah, it should be. I don't even like shorting. Gonna put all these good businessmen out of business. Bullshit. He's did more work probably than Biden. It's sickening how a CEO, how many thousands of companies. Biden shut down the pipeline and took away thousands of jobs. This guy's kept thousands of jobs if you look at all those theaters. I mean, he's literally employing. The employment is important, and it's sad that they can short these companies to the ground and put places like Toys R Us out of business. People that got to feed their kids, pay their light bills.
I agree. It is absolutely sickening. And it's greed. It's driven by greed.
It's no better than the companies that go into a company from the inside out and dismantle it.
Well, just another link in the chain of fuckery, though, because as we're seeing from, I swear to God, man, the worst mistake that they ever made was taking away that buy button and then just thinking that giving us the time to research and think and educate as retail investors, because now we're seeing that you've got these, like you just said, these companies whose sole purpose is to infiltrate these businesses and destroy them from the inside out. And when you look through the back end of it, they're all in, these hedge funds. They're all over here, they're all over there. It's just like this. The amount of bullshit that is just going on in Wall Street, it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I never in a million years thought that I would learn what I learned in the last 16 months. And it's just, every day it seems like it's, I don't know. I mean, for me, it builds conviction, but man, because it's got to end. It's got to stop. And it can't just continue to go on like this over and over and over again and be ignored.
And then it gets me too that they're allowed to own controlling stakes in the media companies to push their narrative, and then have the writers claim no inside stake within the trade when they're being paid by the people controlling to write the articles.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
I'm updating the meme as we speak live.
It's like the same as taking away the policeman and thinking it works out better. It's because we have a shitty IRS system. I hate to say it like that, but they shouldn't be letting people pay people and bribe politicians and media companies that have the same interest to collude and to make propaganda. But yeah, sci-fi and all that stuff sells, man, more than the truth a lot of times. And they
Look at
thrive
the
off
national
it.
papers, and they'll take a newspaper that's struggling, run it into the ground from the inside out, and then add that newspaper to their conglomerate of newspapers all over the country, so they all have the same narrative.
Yeah, it's a monopoly. It's a monopoly, a Ponzi scheme. That's what they try to do, but we can't let monopolies happen. That's why, when you see Microsoft, or let's use Nike, for example, and their Chinese slave laborers getting on their trains in shackles with AKs. If you want to keep buying Nike, go ahead. I don't buy Nike no more. And that's what happens with a monopoly. Someone gets too much money, and now they're just the best sports shoe in the world. Everyone's got to have a Nike. They can't pay $240 for American-made tennis shoe that you've never probably heard of because everything comes from China.
I'm a late 90s, 2000 high school era kid, so when the news came out that they were using sweatshops to make those shoes, my entire school banned Nike shoes for sporting events. Like, we all got together and said, nobody buy Nikes. So I've never, ever been a Nike purchaser of any of their products. So, all right.
Yeah,
I'm tagging you in the meme.
Who, me?
Yeah. I made this one in your space months ago, last year, and I've just been adding to it. So I just added Highcroft to it finally.
I really appreciate it.
Not buying Croft today. I mean, I'm not there, and I'm just going to keep accumulating shares while I can.
Hey, sorry to interject. I just wanted to see if it was okay to speak. Tara made a point that I thought was interesting about 5 minutes ago, and I wanted to see if I could bring it up before we get too far past that.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think Tara said something about how essentially the apes have been turned into their own hedge fund, and it does provide. So when I have no position either way. I mostly invest in biotech, and I'm naturally kind of skeptical because of that, because a lot of those companies actually are really shady. But when I saw the Hycroft deal, it seemed like the apes were being used to create liquidity, which is actually, like Tara said, that's sort of like what a hedge fund does, right? And now that they have all this money, if it turns out sort of like what Spence has been looking into with, they might actually have some higher quality metals near the surface, but they needed money to optimize that. If that turns out to be true, and Adam Aaron did the research to look into that and made the right choice, I think he might be on the right track completely. And this is something that I think is going to be a really big test. If it turns out that the Hycroft mine doesn't have that sort of asset available, then you're looking more at they're kind of playing the financial games that some hedge funds do, and what you guys were just talking about, how they'll take over a company, sort of let it run to the ground, but they've made their money in the meantime. So I'm just really interested to see how this plays out. My
you think
initial
Brock invest in that? That
I'm
way?
sorry, what did you say? Sorry.
Do you think Eric Sprock would have that mentality going?
I'm sorry. Was Sprock the one who is he also is he lending money as well as investing, or is he doing a straight up purchase of shares?
He matched.
I have a question for you. Do you hang with Three Aces? Because you guys both have like the same narrative that you're kind of pumping.
No, actually, I was on. So the first time I ever heard about this was the Three Aces call, and I actually thought he was.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, he's an investor. Eric Sprott is a metals expert and an investor.
Right. So, couple points here, really quick. I thought Three Aces was a dick to you, Tara.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't understand why he was that way. Yeah, like calling you sweetheart and stuff. I thought it was gross. I really didn't understand that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a history. I had no idea what was going on.
I don't know that guy from Adam. I have no idea who he is.
Yeah. So
but my point is that guy is effectively running around like a chicken with his head cut off and trying to spread this narrative that Eric Sprott isn't an investor was what he was ultimately getting at, but he is. So I don't know. It's an interesting narrative, but you can look up, who holds shares of this company and the value. So it's pretty easy to find.
You can see every company that Sprott and or his company is invested in on their website. And like Tara said, the filings are there. So it's an irrelevant point.
It's 35.8% for him and Adam Aaron, I believe. Is that right? 35.8, I think.
Yeah, it's close to that.
Here's my thing with like that guy saying that stuff to you, like sweetheart, is the point that people have disagreements, and there's been waves in this community over what we think we should be doing with our day as investors. But we can't forget about each other when we have debates in our family and our community, because that was a topic back 6 months ago that was heavy, that there was harassment and texts that were really bad on both sides. That's what Amy and them were accusing us of. And we've turned down. We haven't swore or called them names.
And they haven't did the same to us.
Well, and if anything, just look how commendable the apes are when they step up and they're doing like pull-ups for prostate cancer awareness and stuff like that on behalf of Gasparino and the news coming out about him. You know, I mean, people are just completely, like, we're a loving bunch, and we've received so much hate and so much flack. And yeah, the memes get a little wild sometimes, but it's all in good fun usually. But Gasparino is the biggest troll of all time and has been trolling us for over a year now. And at the same time, when something like that happens, we all band together and say, you know what, differences aside, hey, you know, prayers for you or whatever it is that you believe in, and we all are hoping for you to pull through and for the best, you know, and no one's wishing that kind of thing on anybody, no matter what side you might be on. So at the end of the day, you kind of, if people can't even draw a line and like realize there's like a time and a place, but Troy, I really don't want to get into what happened here 6 months ago on Twitter. A lot has changed. A lot has happened.
Yeah.
So,
hey everyone.
You didn't even know though. Yeah, but all I was saying real quick was you didn't even know. I've listened to them. I would listen to them 6 months ago talk about you. Like literally, I listened to them talk about threats with you in Nevada, and I was like, these fucking people were so bold to be like that we have to remember that they have bad intents for our people and to stand up for each other and not divide this as much. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'd like to add something to Biotech's question about Eric Sprott, and he was talking about him holding some debt. Yes, I believe Eric Sprott is a loan holder for them. He supplied, I believe, I'm not sure the number. It was something about 80 million as a loan to the company. But he's also an investor for shares as well. There was something about that, and that was released a while ago. I don't quite remember the number. And I don't know if that was negotiated to push the debt out. But what I do know is that's all he ever's known is gold. His company makes a lot of money in the metals. And like I had reservations, but they're gone now. And I believe Eric is invested in this because he sees the potential in it. And I believe him and AA had major discussions about it. And I really don't think AMC would have gotten involved in this if there was anything bad or anything. I just think it has huge potential that has to come forward. But to answer your question, yeah, I believe he holds some debt, and I think it's 80 million, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. I want to add to that. I don't know the numbers exactly, but I did look that stuff up, and it's not hard to find. And it's always interesting when people come in and say they don't have an investment and they don't have a knowledge. And it's like, well, get a knowledge, then form an opinion. Then come in with your opinion. Don't come in with a narrative. If you have a question, ask a question. But don't come in with an uneducated narrative when the information is out there.
I don't think I was pushing any specific narrative. I just asked what Eric Sprott's investment was, but I know that's a hot button issue, and I wasn't actually trying to touch on that. My main point was that I thought Tara made an interesting point about the apes being able to perform the purpose of like a hedge fund. And my main thing was just I think this is such a specific investment, the Hycroft mine, that it's going to have sort of a binary outcome, right? Either the gold and the silver is going to be there and available, or it's not. And my main point was I think it's a really interesting idea that using a community of motivated investors as a liquidity event, which when I initially saw it, I fully admit I was very skeptical. I thought, okay, this seems like people are being taken advantage of. But
so you're trying to frame this as though I'm claiming that we're all working together like a hedge fund, and that's not what I'm saying at all. My point is that many people are invested in AMC, and those same people, when Adam Aaron mentions another stock that's in a similar situation as AMC was a year ago when we initially invested, then all eyes are on that stock as well. So please do not take what I'm saying and try to twist it into anything else.
How did he claim it like that, Tara? I mean, how did he claim it to say that you said that? He just stated that Eric Sprott's investment portfolio and what he.
I can't even tell who's talking right now. I'm sorry.
Troy. It's Troy.
Okay. Troy, you seem super argumentative with me. I don't know. It's super frustrating. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I feel like you're here because of the 3 Aces dude, biotech. I don't know if you want to just be upfront about whatever, but that's not really what I was.
I'm 100% not. I'm really absolutely not. I'm sorry that it's becoming this way. I honestly just thought you made an interesting point. So sorry.
But and then you're twisting my words and saying people are being used by CEO Adam. By who?
Let's not get heated, please.
Okay.
Who is talking? Let's not get heated. Oh my goodness.
No, I'm Bangle. That's all I'm just saying. Like, this is getting intense. That's why I jumped in. I'm doing stuff on Twitter. And I'm listening along, but I'm here talking.
Okay. Well, sometimes things get heated. So, I mean, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, the commentary doesn't really help with this current situation.
Okay.
Hey, let me just jump in real quick here. And there has been a lot of very powerful and valuable information that has been brought to the forefront of this community by members of this community, and it is all readily available and it is all out there. And everybody that I have run into that has brought some piece of valuable information to the forefront on this issue, be it theories, be it due diligence, be it documentation of what's going on in the mind, be it surveying documentations, it's there and it's available. So I would like to put this out to everyone in the room that I believe it is your responsibility as an individual investor that when you come into a space call like this and you start to hear things, that you use those as a starting point for your own due diligence, because you owe it to yourself every single time to do that, not just to hear a narrative or to be presented with a direction and say, yep, I'm all down, let's go. I believe this wholeheartedly. Because you're only shorting yourself in that situation. So I would just suggest that everybody take an opportunity to see what's out there, because I believe that this is not a binary thing. It's not a matter of whether they take the gold or they not take the gold. There's many different directions that could possibly go with this. And there's been a great deal of discussion with a great many people in this community that it's not, you can't just look at this at its surface, that the potential and the possibility is for things greater and beyond. And we might not even know it. We might be on the right path, we might not. But ultimately, you owe it to yourself, and only yourself, to use these space calls and the information that's being presented as a starting point for your own due diligence. This time, next time, every time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm not trying to, get into some kind of heated debate, but I do not appreciate when I make a comment and then it's, being used against me. And it won't be the first. It's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that happens on Twitter. So anyway, Bio, I don't know, if you had further commentary, but I think we can move on from the topic.
Oh, I guess the last point was I actually was not trying to use any point against you. Honestly, I thought it was a very interesting point and a really smart way to look at it. I know that you spend a lot of your time getting attacked, and I was not trying to do that. So I apologize if I stepped on something.
When you said that people are being used, what did you mean?
Oh, I meant, so when I look at things from, I was telling you where I was coming from in terms of when I see, it's called like a liquidity event. So when a news point is released, and then there's something else underneath it that is dropped. A really good example from the biotech world would be Cytodyne, a company that yesterday released information that they were going to do a press conference today. they released that information in the morning. And it's a company that had been waiting for some sort of update for months. And so investors were very enthusiastic about that. And they purchased it. It had the highest volume day they've had in months. And then when the market closed, they then notified everyone that they had multiple trials shut down by the FDA. So essentially, that was a liquidity event for some of the investors they had to exit their position. With the Hycroft situation, what seemed similar to me on that was that they announced the investment by by AMC, and then also some known gold investors, and then they also released an 8K later that they had the shelf offering and an expansion of shares. And so to me, just looking at that initially, I was like, oh, they're trying to use enthusiastic investors to either raise funds or let people get out of the position. But I think the difference, and this is where I thought your point was interesting, was that if they really did find some higher quality metals available and all they needed was money to get out from under it, then using that liquidity could be a long-term gain. And that's where I'm very curious to see what happens next. I was just saying that I thought it was a good point that if Adam Aaron or anyone is able to identify companies that are unloved by the street and bring them to the attention of retail investors who sort of are understanding of the role they're able to play, then I think that's great. I think the main thing about the market is that as long as people are understanding participants, I think that's fantastic. And so I think the response that Hycroft stock had to the closing of that shelf that they filed, where the stock ran up drastically, I think that does actually kind of show the enthusiasm that the investor base really had. Because I think a lot of people like myself, when I initially saw the news that they were filing an ATM in at the market share offering, was that they were going to try and pull one over on people, just because I've seen that so often before in other companies. But when it closed and suddenly the stock has all this extra liquidity and investors were very excited about that, I thought, oh, okay, that, you know, as
like they're debt free for the next 5 years, that kind of talk, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a different outcome. So everybody looks at investments through the lens at which they're coming into it. And I think everyone goes into any interaction that way, which I think is probably, you know, it's an understandable reason of why you thought I was trying to be aggressive, but I'm really not. I'm not trying to twist words. I was just trying to say, like, it was an interesting point to me. It's why I raised my hand. It's the first time I've ever done that space. I was just interested, and I thought it was a good point. And honestly, if the Hycroft operation turns out beneficial, then I think it's something that is pointing in a direction where Adam Aaron has really locked on to something that's good. So that was really all I was trying to say.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, I see a lot of hands up, so I don't know if you guys want to get on to the next people.
Let's do that. Okay. Well, let's see. There's Robert, JR, Sugar, and then Matt.
I woke up. I know I was on your guys' call earlier, and I took a nap, but I had my phone on my shoulder, and I woke up to that argumentative situation. But I get no argument with these young kids at work, college educated, indoctrinated, whatever you want to call them. And I can't stand when they just, it's everything's meme stock. And I said, listen, I've been doing this for 2 years, 3 years, listening, doing some research. So all I do is read. And again, like this morning, I read both sides, political, the conspiracy theories, the stocks, try to follow charts, but not so much. And I think I mentioned this, Tara, not a long time ago, but I guess when I started joining the space is that, sometimes these stocks are, besides cups and handles and all that other jazz, it's like a popularity contest. But if you talk about any stock long enough, any stock can quote unquote become a meme stock. The interesting thing about this gold mine is that, okay, we have gold, we have silver, and Adam's partner hates short selling. He hates that whole grift. But I mean, I do chemicals and chemical processing, and there's some weird shit out there with disilver oxide. So when I heard, was it the CEO you guys had on here earlier? Like I said, I was half asleep. Talking about the new technology to mine.
Diane Garrett was on the Benzinga call.
Yeah.
Just explaining the overall situation for the mine.
Yeah. So basically, you have gold, you have silver, tangible objects, and then there's other things you can do with that. Chemically, gold, disilver oxide. Disilver oxide can be used medically. It can be used illegally, mixed with fentanyl. So potentially money-making wise, I think, whatever movement this may be or whatever movement this is, his picks with Disney. There was a conversation going with, it's almost like, he's talking to his investors through tweets. Some things he can say, some things he can't. So I just started laughing because so many people were bashing, not you guys, but like other people bashing like the Q stuff and the Trumps and the misspellings and the missing letters. But it's like, it's comparable. Like he is saying things in those tweets and they wouldn't go that far if this wasn't valid. And like I said, everybody here is going to make money. And whether some people are in it for the quick money or otherwise, I had a conversation with somebody this morning, and, when I'm tired and leaving work and the new guys come in for the next shift, they get kind of rammy. But again, we got this guy, he's on, I think, the highest dosage of Adderall, and I'm not knocking that either, but he's just started studying charts, and some of these guys are intelligent. He picked it up real quick, and I said, look, and he said something about, well, you guys should have learned last time this happened. The same assholes do the same shit. And I looked over the cubicle, and I said, listen, are you talking about me as an investor, or are you talking about the hedge funds doing it? And he quickly changed the story to the hedge funds, but I know what he said. And I'm like, listen, the idea of stocks, from which I understand, is you buy them and you're supposed to hold them. So whatever I saw go up and down last time, or whatever us assholes did again, I believe that that's the key to stock holding and stock buying. So any argument, any avenue, I believe it's a great stock. I believe that I don't think Adam would have got into it with this specific other partner if there was any fallible scam to it. I don't believe it. I believe that, when people see gold and silver, some people see AMC a part of it. I see, all I see is money. Like I said, it's not just tangible gold and silver. That shit can be used for so many other things. I just, like I said, I hate to hear people argue and wake up out of a loose nap. But, if we all stick together and we all hold the stock like we're supposed to, then we'll all make money. It's difficult seeing it go up and down. I'm living poor. I'm a single dad. I'm raising my daughter on my own, but I live poor, and I got a lot of money in AMC and a lot of money in HYMC. I have 2 or 3 other stocks, but, I'm holding them because I like them and I believe in them. The technology's there. I believe the technology's really, really here with this one. As I kind of overheard that, the CEO touched on that. You're not going to hear and know everything they do with silver and gold. I think Matthew said it, the information's out there. It is, but you just got to look for it. And I believe we're in a good spot, regardless where it goes in a week, where it goes in 6 months, but we'll get there. We
haven't even started retail popcorn sales yet. So
yeah,
there's 5, the Blockbuster lineup for 2022 is insane, you guys.
He touched on. He gave us the schedule up to April, and there was hits in there. Morbius is coming out. I know Spence likes that comic book stuff. I get into it. I grew up on them cartoons, but dude, he didn't even hit the Blockbuster list for the summer. It's one after another.
Secrets of Dumbledore just went on pre-sale, so
yeah. And then you got to remember, Top Gun. Tom Cruise is fighting in court right now to make it a 90-day viewing before it hits anywhere else.
Which I think is brilliant.
Oh, Tom, look, I love that movie. I'm not I'm not ashamed to say it, but I think that this movie, as much as they put into it, and I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but the shit they allow him to do in this movie. Oh no, wait, it was Mission Impossible that he's fighting for a 90-day, but I'm assuming he's going to do the same thing for Top Gun. There's no way he wouldn't. But yeah, I haven't even seen. I'm usually up to date on what's coming out. I love movies. I loved them since I was a kid. I tried to write one when I lived in Florida, and it's. Look, we got time. We got time. A lot of you guys are young. I'm young-ish, but we got time. So good luck to everybody, and let's all stick together on this one.
Sugar, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, how are you guys doing?
Hey, Shug.
Eating some popcorn.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting hungry listening to that popcorn, man. So first of all, thank you to all of you, Tara, Spence, Jen, everybody in this call. And, I just want to say that, I'm very proud of all of you guys. And I have nothing but love and respect for all of you guys. We are all fighting here for the same reason, same cause. And don't let anybody, like what happened 6 months ago. You can't change your past, but you can always change your future. So, we have to think what's ahead of us, what's already done and been gone. Don't let even, these things even come, because I know you guys are all good people. And, you all want to do good. And I'm seeing the same narrative the people were painting about AMC. They've started the same narrative about HYMC. Oh, this is not right. That's not right. And we all know people will do that because a lot of them are just getting paid to do that. But that being said, anything that Adam is doing, he knows the whole 4 million, some people are behind him. If he would not have the trust in us and we would not have the trust in him, we would not be here today. We would not be supporting him. So he knows it. And we know it, that he will not try to just, throw away the money just because he wants to prove somebody something. No. Because he honestly believes, and we know that too, that mine has potential. But they were just trying to bankrupt that mine just like AMC, just because they can. And I'm glad Adam and Eric and all of us stood up to that, because enough is enough. How many companies they have done that? And Tara, you are right. We might not be a hedge fund, but we are a hedge fund. We are a ape hedge fund. Because yes, we care about just as much as AMC. We care about HYMC too, because it's part of us. It's like a little brother to AMC now. And I hope Adam even comes with more companies like this. And yes, I will support them with whatever I can. If I can buy 10 shares or 100 shares, whatever I can. So please, don't ever feel like you guys have, doing something wrong. You guys are doing nothing but good. Trying to educate people, trying to create awareness. And I'm just proud of you, man. I'm just proud of my community, and I'm proud of Adam C. Everybody, man. We are doing good, and we are heading in the right direction. So let's get it done, and, sooner or later, we all be there, man. I love you guys.
You too, Sugar.
Thank you, Sugar. You're awesome. We love you so much, and I always love the positive vibes you bring. It's amazing. Thank you.
You know what's amazing about what Adam Aaron is doing? So now you have an entertainment company that makes revenue off of cinema. You have a company that is selling bulk commodities, popcorn, which will go to retail. So now he's in the food service industries. Then you also have him invested in gold now. AMC owns a large portion of HYMC. So you have a beautiful hedge against inflation.
And a credit card.
What he's doing, yeah, a credit card, no doubt, coming. What he's doing is he's investing the company into every possible market up and down scenario we're going to face in the next 10 years. So no matter what, if the economy tanks, we're hedged against that. If commodity prices come back down, popcorn sales will pick up. So it's a perfectly well-rounded, balanced institution invested in the market for every possible bad scenario. And I think if he makes a couple more smart moves like this, you're going to see a massive change in the way corporate America does business.
I think so many CEOs going forward. I mean, mainstream right now loves to shit on Cohen and Adam Aaron, but I think a lot of CEOs moving forward, you can include Musk in that list as well. Mainstream loves to shit on, but I think these CEOs going forward they're setting the standard for communication with their investor base and what they're doing with the money that we're essentially giving them to rebrand or restructure their company. I mean, companies have naturally been backdoor, and they don't want to expose the details before it's final or whatever. But what these guys are doing for communications with their investor base is something new. They really it's been a private sector thing where these meetings are behind closed doors with the top board shareholders, and you're sitting down at dinners with multimillionaires who are investing in your company. And now what we're seeing, especially since COVID, is a lot of retail has gotten into the market. And I put a tweet out there, I think it was about a week ago. I think within the next decade or two, either retail is going to own the market or retail is going to leave the market because of manipulation and fraud. It's just a matter of how long can it continue.
Totally agree. Totally agree with that. The truth is what's happening is a lot of CEOs who have been disrespected and beaten down by the financial institution / political corruption pay to play game are finally starting to join together and speak out. And I think what you're going to see a lot happening of is more and more CEOs of beat down companies trying to come together and reinvest into each other so that they're just this untouchable conglomerate of stocks. Like they can't short forever because retail will always have more money than hedge funds consistently. Maybe not in total, but consistently. I just got paid today. So I've got more money on the way since I used all my dry powder yesterday into my brokerage account. That's the problem they're facing right now is we have almost unstoppable liquidity, generated by exactly the problems that they're causing. So I think you're going to see a big change in the way the markets operate in the next 5 years.
For sure.
Go ahead, JR.
What's up, everybody? Thank you. I was gonna go on that topic too, or on that direction of the corruption, and that's been widespread. God knows how long. And just the fact that as society kind of starts to wake up to this stuff, and we're starting to see, again, these problems and all these hedge funds and these puppet shills, they're shook. It's obvious, and they're really angry at retail and dumb money for fighting back and calling them out. I would just kind of go back a little bit. If anybody remembers gold prices about 20 years ago, in 2004, 18 years ago, 2004, gold was about $400, right? And over the next, 10 years, it's projected, depending on where you look, but it's projected to go above $5,000. And it seems about right when you look at, the, inflation that we got going on, when you look at, global and political corruption and unrest that's happening. You look at, all of the trends. If you look at the trends and if you can think objectively, if you can take a step back a minute, go sit on the moon, look at the earth, and just look at current events and what's going on. If you can look at history and see where things are going, they're genius moves that Adam Aaron is making it. You look at Musk. You look at all these people that are in this movement. This is Occupy Wall Street 2.0. We are doing something here, and it is making a difference. It is making an impact. You got Jon Stewart talking about it. You got everybody talking about this. And you see the amount of love and positivity that's coming out of this community, and that's unshakable. You're not going to shake us out, especially those of us who remember and lived through the, 08 and the bailouts, and we see all of this, corruption, we are not our parents, and we are not the boomers, and we are not the older generations that are just going to sit back and watch this happen and take it. We're not going to participate in it. And like somebody said, we're either going to get out or we're going to restructure the market. We're going to have a completely different thing. And I don't know what that looks like, but it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be the way that it used to be, because we're not going to participate. We're not going to do it, right? We'll put our money elsewhere. And so I'm extremely inspired. I've been in this play over a year now. And I was kind of hesitant to get into it because, I could kind of foreshadow and see for me personally what that would mean. And that means me getting more involved. That means me, speaking out more and getting, and trying to, educate people and trying to do my best to, and again, putting myself out there, which is very hard. And I applaud every one of you who has been in this fight and who I know is going to continue in it, and I so look forward to seeing, what's to come of this, but, I just look at the longs on all of this stuff, and it's nothing but good, and we just got to keep going. We got to buy and hold, right? Good old Warren taught us to buy and hold. So that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to keep growing, keep getting better. And the last thing that I'll say, again, because I know we were talking about Russia and what they're doing with gold, and, you see China, what they're doing with their gold reserves. That's a sign right there. You look at other countries and you look at, what they're doing. You look at the state of the dollar right now and what's going on with our own government and, all the political corruption. I mean, just look at what's going on with Biden and, and Hunter and all this stuff. This has been snowballing. This has been a house of cards that's been falling for a very long time, and we're near the bottom of it. I know I'm not the only one that feels this. So, there's a lot going on, and I just would remind people, especially the younger crowd, be objective. Don't be so impulsive. We have a tendency of as humans to be impulsive and short-term thinkers. We got to think about the longs here. We got to think about what things are going to look like in 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I know it's hard, because we always want the right here, right now. We just that instant gratification, but we got to be. We got to be strong together. And, everything that I've seen over the last year tells me that that's what we're going to do. I mean, it's been such an amazing year. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm really grateful to be here and, for this space and for all of you who have been doing this. And, again, I applaud all of you. Thank you. That's all I got for right now.
Wow. So much.
Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, thank you so much.
I wanted to
making my daughter a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I want to share my Highcroft story quick because it's an interesting one. Because 4 months ago, everybody, I was seeing all this buy gold, invest in gold. And I was just like, all right, I'm not sure what's going on. I do kind of understand the play, but I don't want the rug pulled out from under me either with the whole Bitcoin thing, doing that to people. So I was like, all right, so what's a smart way for me as a retailer to invest in gold? So I took the gold aspect, looked at gold company, and then I looked at the 2020 COVID hit to the market. And then I was looking at companies that didn't get the rebound from that drop yet, that were gold companies. And Highcroft hit my radar. And then when I looked into the details about Highcroft, I was like, wow, this would be a great investment if they had capital. And it was interesting because that was about 4 months ago. So I put it in my watch list. And one morning when that news came out, I'm like, holy, and I'm like going nuts. And my wife's like looking at me like, what's going on? I was like, because I realized the aspect that I am an investor in AMC, and they bought in a company that I was already looking at that only needed capital. And I didn't really know a lot about gold. I didn't know who Sprott was.
Matthew, I had bought in the week before at 89 cents. At 89 cents. And when I saw the article about AMC investing, I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was a joke. Someone was pranking, messing around.
right. And then I looked into Adam or Sprott, and I was like, and they got a partner in the investment. And I was like, holy crap. I missed the opportunity to buy before that announcement, but I also been in it long enough to know that you were going to get an immediate boom bump. So I waited up to settle down, find the bottom, because that's just smart. But for those of you that, bought on that boom boom, don't worry about it. It's coming up to you. But also, you got to be savvy enough to realize if you're on the news, you're going to get that initial boom boom. Don't get caught at the top. It's just not the way to invest. But, I mean, I was just floored by the idea that here was a company like AMC that was trying to be run in the ground just on the fact they didn't have capital to get return on the potential that's there. And they would have been run into the ground. They would have never been able to realize that gold. And the shorts were trying to run them, bury them in the ground, and run them bankrupt. And they got caught again. And I think it's awesome. And I also think it's awesome that Adam Aaron said, well, this retail investment in AMC that created this war chest and a movement to save companies, a company like us that was being run into the ground. I'm going to take some of that money that we made off of them and help them with their movement. And yeah,
I honestly, Matthew, I feel like no matter where you buy right now, this is a buying opportunity. I mean, this thing used to trade a year ago at $10. Its all-time high was $16, and it has so much potential behind it. So I don't know. We'll see what they find when they do more exploration. But the fact that they've only even they've only tapped into 2% of the land that they own is so bullish.
Revenue, the gold price was 30% less than what it's going to be when they start producing and selling again.
Exactly. Yep. And silver. They also have, silver. So I don't know. I'm extremely bullish. I don't think there's a bad price right now. And honestly, I'll never forget, people coming around saying, after AMC ran up quite a bit and saying, I was in AMC when it was like $1 something a share. And I thought, movie theaters are going to come back after the pandemic. So they invested like before AMC was even, being really talked about. And it ran to like, $6 or something, and they sold. And they had so much regret because then this massive movement, was built behind it. So I don't know. I have the same hopes, and I imagine the same thing happening for HYMC.
Are you guys interested in listening to Biden talk about lowering gas prices?
Sure.
Okay. When it comes on, I'll just let it play. So if you get interrupted, don't take it personally.
I think Bango's got his hand up.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that story, Matthew. That was really cool.
Yep, I'm here. We cool? Everybody can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up?
Okay, Tara, that whole interaction we had there, I just wanted to address that. Are we cool?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're cool, dude. What's going on? You want to talk about gold?
Okay, cool. I just wanted to get it off my chest because I was swiping through and your voice just took a pitch and I just had to come in and I didn't mean to interject.
I guess I'm just not in the mood to talk about things from 6 months ago with certain people. I mean, we're here, we're talking about Highcroft, we're talking about a whole new investment opportunity. There's so much to be excited about. There's so much, future aspirations going on. Then someone wants to come in and start, harping about words that I said and kind of taking them out of context and stuff. So it's a little bit frustrating to say the least. And I think the thing is a lot of people don't understand, but in the time that I've been here, which has been almost a year now on these spaces, I have developed an ability to kind of, root out people's or sense what people's prerogatives are when they come up into the call and they start to sort of put a spin on things and kind of push an agenda or a narrative. I already know up front, and the easiest thing sometimes is to just nip it in the bud. And that way, because it's almost, you're giving people a platform. Okay. So when they get to come up here and speak, they're getting to speak to 200 plus people. So you take on the risk of letting them, potentially hurt your own investment. And that's not something I'm willing to do here. And that's what that guy was doing. And so if I get a tone, I'm sorry. If people don't like it, I'm sorry. But yeah, sometimes I can be very brash, and I don't like people messing with my money.
So why would a guy that's invested in pharmaceuticals specifically, and you can look on his Twitter, who's never been to one of our calls ever in history.
He doesn't follow me, Spence. Does he follow you?
No. And that's why did he choose today to come here to talk about Hycroft when all he's invested in is pharmaceuticals?
Exactly.
Totally. I'm on your team. We're all cool. Awesome. That's all I wanted to do. I'll shut up now and just listen.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm fine. We're good. It wasn't an issue with you. It was an issue with one person, and then other people wanting to kind of chime in and maybe not defend the guy, but sort of be like, let's all get along here. And that's cool. That's fine and dandy. But I also want people who are listening in the listening spot here not to get fudded out of something. And, honestly, since I started talking about HYMC, I've had it's calmed down, obviously, because the proof is in the pudding and numbers don't lie. But so many people got fudded out of the play because of certain commentary that people were really pushing. And it's like, you guys, you lost people 100% gains. What is wrong with you? Just keep your opinion to yourself. And I think a lot of people have an extra comfort level doing it with me because they underestimate me. They underestimate my ability to kind of catch on to the shit that they're selling. And they also think that they can do it because they're a man and I'm a woman, to be honest. And it's extremely frustrating and disheartening. So at the end of the day, I am sorry if I come off defensive sometimes, but I will be, especially if I'm defending AMC and HYMC. And we have been attacked. I mean, I've never seen any other play in the history of the stock market where people go so far out of their way, who apparently have no skin in the game, but are so heavily involved with what other people are doing with their own money. Why?
That's why I asked him about the Sprott thing. He was clueless. Look, that would have been like one of the first things that popped up if you did any looking at all before you come in here with your opinion.
Absolutely, Matthew.
Okay.
Take the cup out.
Your passion is infectious. Okay, that's all I gotta say. I'm just gonna keep listening. I'm glad we cleared the air here. Right on.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with you, and I'm sorry if it came off that way, but it was just the guy that was coming up with that narrative. That's it.
I didn't want you to get freaked. I don't know. I just had to jump in, and I did, and I felt weird, and now it's clear, and we're totally cool. I love everybody here.
Yeah, we're cool. What's up, Robert? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. You're a badass. I love Spence, but between the two of you, I got to tell you, I love when Sugar Kush is in a group too.
You want me and Spence to box? Is that what you said? We could make this happen.
No, my heart's
I'll hit it, girl.
My heart's a Sugar Crush. After the butt debacle, I was up at 4:00 in the morning. I'm at work. Somebody called out.
I'll box you between your legs.
Listen, somebody called out 15 cents, and I was still on Tara's page. I wasn't leaving, and I called out 6 cents, and then before I finished typing and hit send, there it was. And I was like, that you little badass. But my heart's still with Sugar Kush. I love his human interest stories. I love Spence's DD. I vacuum stories, you name it. But after the last call ended this morning, I was trying to take a nap. I did some more looking into Gary, and I think when the earlier call they were talking about, getting together, getting everybody's DD photos, putting everything on a Google thing, and really taking the fight to them, because the thing I'm going to say next is, and I'm not trying to steer anybody away from any investment, but I believe from what I've read and dug up on Gary, he was installed by the Obama administration.
and he's always been in finances, and he's involved in Clinton's 2016 financial campaign. Now, her campaign's getting really hot right now. It's been in speculation and rumors about the dossier and all this stuff. So she finally, they slapped her with a fine, a financial fine from lying about financials. He's a big part of that. Like, you know, I believe that like I said, I believe we're fighting a bigger animal here. That dude's compromised. I wouldn't rely on Gary to do anything. So when people talk about taking the fight up and collecting and let's take this shit to the door, like that's 100%. I believe that we are on our own with any investment, whatever it may be, especially these two. That dude's compromised. He's a part of that financial situation with her campaign. He's been in finances since Obama. He knows better, and he leading the SEC with 4,500 employees, I don't think we have a chance in hell relying on that guy. And like I said, they just got openly slapped the first fine from the FEC, and it's up to us now. So just keep that in mind when we're pushing, standing together. Like, we can't afford any arguments between anybody, whatever anybody's involved in any other stock. But this has gained worldwide attention. These two stocks specifically. And they're going in the right direction. You can't fuck with movies, and you can't fuck with precious metals. You just can't, especially in this current climate. Like he just said, with Russia, China, whether we're going back to a gold-backed standard or we're going back to a gold-backed currency. I believe they're two different things, but, you know, just keep in mind that Gary's compromised. That's my opinion, 100%. So let's just all stick together. No fights. You keep being a girl boss. Spence, you stick with that vacuum repair stuff, and definitely go see that tour, that Breaking Bad tour.
The thing is, Robert, is it is a fight. That's the thing. In a perfect world, there would be no fights, but it literally is the apes versus the bears. And like, when we're getting attacked heavily after sort of weird interview where, you know, the CEO was kind of put in some awkward positions and questioning about CEO Adams selling shares and yada yada, I feel defensive. And then when someone comes up as the stock is literally getting attacked down, and I'm seeing it just dropping, and then someone wants to come up and be fuddish about it. I'm not down for that. Like, go start your own space then, and you can talk how you want to talk about it. But as far as like in here, I don't know. It wasn't the time and the place to have someone like that coming in here, you know, with a certain type of commentary. That's all. So I'm going to fight those people. I've been fighting them for months, and, you know, we've seen it happen. We've seen the fireworks with the shorts coming into our calls, the ape hunters and all of that. So it is what it is, and it's nothing new.
Yeah. After the first call this morning, I mean, I either get, you know, the ethnic prostitutes on Twitter with nobody follows anybody in my private emails, or I get a couple people that I've seen the faces or the fonts or the pictures of in my email, and it's like, you're not followed by anybody you're following. And I follow people from in all these different spaces because, like I said, I investigate all kinds of crazy shit, especially with the current climate. But when I understand, I think I sent you a message when I was talking about a medical company, and then it's almost like it's a popularity contest. But, you know, even as far as the fight goes, I always ask myself with these medical companies with this crazy technology that, like I said, I have like 3 or 4 other big stocks that I have a lot of money in too. But I love this movement because this is a bigger part of something than I keep saying that most of these understand. Now, anybody with any common sense, if something's attacked that much, you got to ask yourself why. And I love a fucking underdog. So I start digging into the mining company, digging into AMC, digging into his connections, where he's been, what he saved. And this is like it's on the simplest terms. Like, you cannot fuck with movies and you cannot fuck with precious metals. It's a win-win.
Absolutely, Robert. That is such a good point about getting attacked, and that's the thing that's always kept me so bullish about AMC is why are people so concerned about what a group of individual retail investors are doing with their money? Oh, we just care. We just want you to sell so you don't lose. What's your price target? What would you sell? I mean, what? Who are you? You didn't care when I was invested in NEO and the stock price dropped. You didn't care when I was invested in any other ticker. But suddenly, it's really important that you know when I'm going to sell and try to talk me out of the play. And to see them doing the same thing and taking on that same approach with HYMC, with Highcroft, makes me extremely bullish. So that's a really good point, Robert.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what was, the Robinhood debacle. Like, I went into the locker room. This one kid was trying to get me into NVIDIA and AMD. He's a big computer guy. And I was like, and this time I was just being greedy. I just got in. I did really well because the last drop in the stock market like 2 years ago was phenomenal. Shit was popping off all over the place. You put your money. I won big in the Kodak scam. So when I walked in the next day, I was like, he said something about AMC, and I was like, I was just looking at that last night. I was like, I like AMC at $2. The next day, when the market opened, because we go in at like 10 o'clock, when it opened up, it went from like 2 to like 8 or 13. And then I was like, this is going to be hot. So I started looking into it, and I'm like, all right, bam. And that was the day that fucking Robinhood, dude, Schwab even. I had transferred my first Robinhood over to a Schwab, and Schwab's phones they were busy. They weren't taking. I put the thing in the header. It said not a valid ticker. I was like, these motherfuckers. So that's when I got interested. So then I finally got in. After a couple hours, it went through at like 18. And I'm not going to lie to any is here. I got in at 18. I sold. I had 600 shares, 3 in Robinhood, 3 in Schwab. Everybody's talking shit about it. These guys at work everybody got into it at the same time. I'm a chart expert. I'm a fundamentalist expert. I'm like, I'm just playing like I go to the casino. So then I started really getting into it. And then I sold 300 at 60. I sold 300 at 40. I got into this other stock I believed in, this crazy medical technology stock. And then look, I had the luxury of getting back in at 26. And then at 17, and now I'm at 666 shares, and my average is $17. And that's me getting lucky, being able to stop playing fucking games and being greedy with money and really start believing in where this is going. Because it's a time before I could get back into it again. You guys were already talking about it. It was global, and I was like, again, it's like there's something going on here, and I want to be a part of it. The money will come, but I love a good fight. And like I said, I started digging on Gary, digging on these quantitative hedge funds versus other hedge funds. And fucking George Soros' name comes up, and that's where these quantitative hedge funds came in when he bet against the Bank of England and fucking won. Just devaluing everybody's fucking dollar. So the
rabbit hole runs deep.
It's crazy. Like, my head is swelling. Like, what I mean? I'm about to shave my head because I feel like my hair's too heavy. Like, that's how crazy.
You got lots of wrinkles on your brain. That's good, though. I mean, it's good for people to wake up and open their eyes to the reality of the situation.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's also nice to come here and hear you guys talk strictly about the stock, and then break off into like Spence's conversation about his vacuum, and the difference between going to spend this money of consumerism, and then Sugar Kush jumps in with a human interest story, and then talking to another foreigner that's struggling and tell him like how he got here. Like, I love it. It's a nice break from all the bullshit. And that's what, like I said, I was laying here with my eyes closed, and I heard these two people arguing, and I was like, shit, I forgot about the Gary Gensler thing. But more importantly, we got to stop fighting about shit, or not letting that come into these spaces. So,
well, that's another thing is, so the reason I've and that's always been a mixed bag, because you can, create like an echo chamber and just have just the bulls, just the people who are positive or bullish or whatever. But sometimes it is a good opportunity for people to come in so that you can, get that much stronger with your, being able to debate why you're bullish versus why someone else is bearish. And also to show people, look, like Spence said, this guy is not even invested. He's not invested in ANC or HYMC. What is he doing here? Like, why was it important for him to come up here? And so if you don't do that, if you don't open the door a little bit and let that in, then it doesn't give other people the opportunity to kind of see it and go, yeah, why do they care? Like, why does Lord Fed care what we're doing with our money if he's not short the stock?
That was another guy
in
a couple spaces ago. Like, the guy next to his picture they were talking. He's like, well, if you want to find out who I am, and the guy next to him was like, well, I did, and I'm not going to dox anybody. But look.
Oops. Everyone got muted.
Only the women in the space calls mute everybody and kick people from the room. Just so you guys know, I don't even touch buttons.
Thanks, Eric.
I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna get kicked again, and I didn't do anything. And I was like, I'm just chilling here with my hand up, waiting my precious turn.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like I said, I was saying, I welcome any show and any group and any conversation because they're out there, they're listening, they're watching, and they can watch all they want. Like when I bring it up all the time when I was back in the juvenile detention centers when I was a kid. I'm way past that now. But like this guy told me, if you're ever going to take anybody on, the courts, your plate's got to be clean. And, then I escaped and got put in another place for a year. But, that stuck with me after I got my head together. Like, if you're ever going to take anybody on, make sure that your plate is clean and nobody can touch you. So in this kind of movement, look, our plates are clean. We're focused. We're in the fight. We know it's not just a stock we're going to make money on. We're in a fight. And I think that's my favorite part about this. Is because I think we're going to win. And I think if we take it a little step further, I think everybody's going to win. And change the
AMC is ripping, guys.
Nice. All right, listen. I really got to go take a nap. I got to get some sleep. But it's always a pleasure listening to you guys. And thank you so much.
I understand that lose a cockroach.
Lose a page shill. That was called out. I called that months ago.
I'll tell you what. When I quit drinking almost completely, serious shit gets ready to happen. Because it's like a sixth sense with me, maybe from combat. But I've had maybe 2 beers in a week and a half now, which is
nice.
very, very good for me.
So I quit drinking recently too, and everything's getting clear.
Hey, Spence, man, thank you for your service, 1. And 2, you're right on about that drinking thing, man. I'm somebody who got my first DUI at 15. I've had 3 total. I've somehow miraculously only have 1 on my record. But I quit drinking about a year before the pandemic. I didn't drink at all through the pandemic. I was able to get through all of it. And these last few years, I've had more personal growth than I can even explain. So,
I quit awesome. Just over 2 years ago, and it's been like the best 2 years of my life. Monetarily, like everything, I've gotten on a good workout regimen, everything. So there's, no hating on anyone who likes to indulge and have drinks because I love drinking, but it just didn't fit my lifestyle anymore, and I wanted to be able to focus and stay focused, and it really would affect my mindset bad.
Any bad event that has ever happened in my life has been a byproduct of alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're somebody who deals with trauma or have had a lot of traumatic events and you're prone to addiction, like my parents if it's runs in the family, it's hereditary, you have to stay away from it. You know what I mean? Because I know, like, for me, I take 1 drink, I want 100. I'm not drinking just because I like to taste. I want to get fucked up.
Yeah, 1 is 1 too many, and 2 is never enough.
Right.
I like the cocaine with a beer. I've got to admit it.
Just straight to it.
Are we talking about alcohol? Now I can hear. Now I had to restart my app, you guys, 1,000 times.
We were talking about alcohol, but it escalated right there really quick.
Can I say something?
Only the weekends, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Super quick.
Go for it.
I want to see freaking April be like trending the whole month of April. I'm just saying. I'm all about those dad puns. If you see anyone hashtagging April, like APE rule, that's me. Okay?
Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
I started that. Hashtag April, hashtag AMC, hashtag we run this bitch.
I'll read you get it up there.
I don't know how many more pictures or videos of my kids flipping off the shorts I can get away with, but
oh man, that was the best.
I didn't recognize your new profile pictures. So when you said, "Oh, I thought I was going to get removed from the call again," I'm like, I don't even know who you are. You've never been removed from the call. Then I realized when you started talking.
Tara, we go way back, so let's not do this in public, okay? Please. No.
Oh my God, that's fine. Whatever. I'm just kidding. Whatever, Brandon. I like the pictures of your daughters flipping off the hedge funds. I don't know. It really makes me bullish. So more power to them. Girl power. Let's go.
Who was the person in the gorilla suit with a handful of bananas in front of Citadel the other day? Did you guys see that photo?
It wasn't me. I wasn't there.
Yes.
But I was kind of nervous because I thought somebody was going to get in trouble because, like, one, it being an ape and then handed bananas, and it was like a person of color. I'm like, oh, someone's going to turn this into a big racist.
Oh, yeah, of course, Elohim said that too. He's like, what?
But yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm more worried about some other things, but be careful, guys. Whatever you do, do not make threatening statements to toward the FBI, or I'm sorry, towards Citadel, because to be honest, someone did reach out to me and got paid a visit by the FBI. So I'm just letting you guys know they live close to Citadel. And apparently an FBI agent showed up, questioned them about their Twitter account and about a couple other Twitter accounts. And the guy was extremely freaked out. So, and they knew everything, because I even asked him, like, are you sure they were real agents? Like, could they have been faking? And he said they knew everything about him, including like that he had a concealed carry and all of this stuff. And they said, stay away from the Citadel building, essentially. So I'm just letting you guys know, be careful. Do not put out threatening statements at all whatsoever.
You really think the FBI doesn't work for them dudes?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, who's the guy that was working for Biden that now works for Citadel?
The top secret secret service agent, Cho, I think it's Cho.
It's a revolving chairs. They're all intertwined. And that's why I said, if they come knocking on your door because you gave somebody the finger or threw a banana peel out front, it's your plate's got to be clean. As long as your plate's clean, and you can't ever clean up your search history when it comes to the FBI. I mean, that's
right. It's not worth it. I know how angry and fired up we can get, especially like on down days and stuff like that, but it's never worth going to that extent. And even if you say it and you think you're anonymous, you are not anonymous. Never. It's the FBI. They will track you down.
They will find out who you are.
That's why my picture finally got on here. They want to come. My plate's clean. They can't. And I might want to brush up and get a nice clean picture with a bow tie for them to come look next, because this shit's getting deep. They know we're here. They know.
Well,
they do.
For the record, the guy said, and this is coming from him, but I even looked up any tweets that he did about Citadel, and maybe he had cleaned up his act too and deleted stuff, but he did say he had never made any threatening comments at all. So he was in shock.
Wow.
They will be
shocking. And that's why like a DM maybe.
I've been saying too in a lot of spaces and posting some things like, thank you, Kenny G. Thank you. Send them love, man. Be like, hey, man, I appreciate you guys doing what you do. You're giving us an opportunity of a lifetime here. I wish you all of the love and happiness in the world, man. Thank you, Kenny G. Thank you.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
When I was, I'm going back. I tell stories a lot, but I want to give you a piece of information about me. When I was in high school, I met a girl, and she took me home. She took me to her grandparents, introduced me. Her grandfather was a professor at the University of Oh my God, I'm freaking out now. University of Western Ontario, UWO. His name was John M. Carroll. He was a great man. He's so influential in my life. Like, go and research it. Go on Google, find him. John M. Carroll, UWO. Just check him out and tell me what you think of this man. That's all I want.
Last time I Googled something, the FBI showed up, so I can't do that. You trying to trick me?
This is a trick.
I think you're trying to do so bad. No, I know. I'm just kidding. I don't have Google.
Computer security.
All right. Hey guys.
He became a lawyer.
Oh, Darth, what's up?
No, that's fine. Okay, so two things. Normally when I speak on specific topics, I call this thing, it's just aping it up or aping it out for people. So so you guys can really get like an understanding of the type of size of Hycroft mining. It's roughly the size of Manhattan. So if you can start to relate visually relate to the size of what space we're talking about here, that's massive. Very massive.
I've got a graphic for you from a 1937 gold deposit map that I'll post, and it's talking about exactly what you're saying, dude.
Yeah. It's the same thing like how I try to relate the popcorn industry, because people think about the popcorn industry, they're like, okay, well, it's a $9 billion, right now it's about a $9 billion a year industry. And forecasts are expecting it to hit somewhere in the high 13 or $14 billion a year industry. It's funny, by the end of 2023, it's kind of funny that also is kind of in the same time area as AMC getting into this. So to relate what a $9 billion a year industry looks like, Major League Baseball is an $8 to $10 billion a year industry. The NFL is a $16 billion a year industry. So when you start, if you can try to look at things in a perspective that you may know, especially when you're starting to introduce yourself into topics like the size of a mine, or what does it really mean to be a $9 billion a year industry, I find it easier for me to process it, and it becomes so impactful when you can cross numbers like that. And Tara, just real quick, and the only reason why I'm saying this, and I'm not going to name names or anything like that, and that was a tag team effort that was going on there earlier today, in that, that one particular person has done that to me countless times. He'll come in with this, I'm all fluffy and nice, and the second he sees an opportunity to flip that narrative, he does it constantly. And you're 100% right that, it is something that we need to be aware of in the community, that the fact is there are bad apples out there, and these bad apples have sheep that will do their bidding for them. It's a fact. Some of them are
I get what you're saying.
Some of them are overt about it. Some of them are covert about it. So those who I'm curious have seen me in these spaces recently with Spence, Tara, and Jen. We had a history that we did it before, and that was my mistake for coming in and just being fooled by the sheep and the bad apples. So just take into account and just process it on your own, and just understand that we are all apes and retail investors, but don't be fooled, because sometimes, like I said, there are people out there with a different agenda, and they will expose themselves in due time. So
I got a DM right away, Darth, saying the bad apple was right about you and all of this. I'm like, oh my gosh. So obviously there's a predisposition. Obviously, there's it's like an uphill battle for me, and I just don't have the time and energy for it. There's so much more to be focused on than 6 months ago. Like, that's just so far in the past. And I don't know, some people use it as an opportunity to sort of like want the spotlight, I guess. So, people love fireworks, people love drama, and a lot of times people will try to harness that and take it and, run with it. And I think a lot of us are just so tired of all of that it's like, yeah, we don't care. We're trying to make money over here. So if you're trying to do all that, go do it over there.
Yeah, I'm not going to use that shit, it's because that's all it is. It's crap.
Who's the bad apple? I have no idea who you guys are talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. I love you, man.
I want to let Flip go, and then we'll play the Biden stream after the President Biden stream after Flip. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, bro? I know you wanted to get to the Biden thing. I just wanted to say what's up. Congrats on the 5,000 followers, bro. It's been just refreshing to watch you grow, bro. And from the beginning, and you just held it down.
He started out so tiny.
I know.
Now he's so huge.
This group in general, like, I know there's no group.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
Not a shower.
Oh,
sorry.
And it's not after hours, it was. But no, I'm super fired up. Like, I guess, I was pretty critical of Adam Aaron throughout the winter months, and I know Tara was too, but I think, it's been a lot of just 180 degrees for me personally with this Highcroft move. And I think for other people as well, just to see that he did have a plan. And I don't think this thing has been just some last minute plan. I think he definitely has shown us over the last 2 weeks that he has a huge new direction on how he wants to take AMC as a company. And he said it, but I mean, just showing us now that it's not just going to be about a movie theater related business. And he said that before, that we're coming out of, the pandemic is not the AMC that we were pre-pandemic. And it's going to be a company, I think, that he's going to start using this recipe that's proven now to use this base, let's call it a cult following, whatever you call it, an army, to identify perfect companies that have been, just beaten down. And it's literally the opposite of what these hedge funds were doing to AMC. They were collectively coming together to just crush these companies. And we're going to actually do the inverse of that. We're going to come together to rescue these companies. And that is insane. He's going to be the first. This is historic. And Highcroft is just the first, Sarah put it, Infinity Stone, a meme stone that's going to get added to this conglomerate to be AMC, I think. And I mean, I'm just so bullish. And what happened today, with the stock price was just more bullish for me to watch an interview where anytime they can try to control the narrative to just, throw shade at anything that's affiliated with AMC just makes me more bullish on what we're doing here. And just having these people come into the call have nothing better to do than worry about our money. That should have you guys more bullish, especially if you weren't here from January, when this is exactly the game plan they did with AMC when it was down to the $5 level and they were telling us the squeeze was over and that you guys are idiots and you're stupid, whatever. This is literally AMC 2.0 in my opinion. And how thankful should we be to Adam Aaron to give us another opportunity to do what we all got to do the first time. My parents are now in on this HYMC play. All my friends that are like, dude, I didn't know about AMC the first time. And I'm like, bro, if you don't do it this time, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not trying to give you guys financial advice, but I think Spence, you're onto it. Terry, you're onto it. We see what Adam's doing. AMC to the moon.
AMC to the moon, baby.
So I'm fired up, but I'll let you get back to the call. I just want to say what's up. So proud of all of us. Hold it down, baby. Let's go.
I love how the names are like kind of similar to AMC, HYMC. I mean, we could get Anya to do HYMC to the moon, I'm sure.
Working on her. I really am.
Oh, that's a
saying it soon.
Thank you, Anya. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Oh my God. So sweet. Oh.
Baby fever.
I don't have baby fever.
Uh-oh. Whatever, Sid.
No baby
That's not what you said in my DM.
My kid's 12. I ain't having no more kids. You better believe that.
I love them all, but never again. Thanks.
We're still trying. So
here's El Presidente.
Good luck.
I learned recently my niece is a year and a half year olds, like they have like adult poos. That's so gross. But I'm like, I do not want to change diapers. Ew. Like, I love her. She's lucky she's cute.
We want to try and potty train them as soon as possible. So it takes some time.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me to schedule my vasectomy.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's yeah, there you go. Just change a 1.5-year-old's diaper and you might think twice.
I mean, you have to. It's really not that big a deal. I mean,
no, it's not.
Yeah,
I'm just teasing. It doesn't help that she tries to like run away and like move the whole time now. Like when she was a baby, it was so easy. She's like constantly on the go. I'm like, okay, girl, you need to chill.
At 1.5, they're gonna do that. I mean,
yeah. So we've been, yeah, she's been like watching the Coco Melon, the potty one and all that. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Speaking of pooping your,
gotta get the Elmo potty.
Speaking of pooping your pants.
Oh no.
Man, I'm about to save this conversation before it turns even more shitty. Come on now.
We're responding. We're aiding the Ukrainian people, both economically and militarily.
while leaving the most punishing economic sanctions against Russia ever used against another nation in place and increasing. Thus far, these actions are crippling Russia's economy, isolating Putin from the world, and helping Ukrainians fight for their country and ease their suffering. But as I've said from the start, Putin's war is imposing a cost on America and our allies and democracies around the world. Today, I want to talk about one aspect of Putin's war that affects and has real effects on American people. Putin's price hike that Americans and our allies are feeling at the pump. I know how much it hurts. As you've heard me say before, I grew up in a family like many of you, where the price of a gallon of gasoline went up. It was discussion at the kitchen table. Our family budgets, your family budgets, to fill a tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war. So today I'm laying out a two-part plan.
Stop buying fuel from them.
To ease the pain that families are feeling right now, but to end this era of dependence and uncertainty, and to lay a new foundation for true and lasting American energy independence. Parenthetically, just imagine if, in fact, Europe didn't have to count on Russian oil. If they were energy independent, it would change the nature of so much.
What?
The problem we're facing with gas prices has two roots. First, the pandemic. When COVID struck, demand for oil plummeted, so production slowed down worldwide. Because of the strength and the speed of our recovery, demand for oil shot back up much faster than the supply. That's why the cost of gas began to rise last year. The second root is Vladimir Putin. The start of this year, gas was about $3.30 a gallon. Today, it's about averaging $4.20, $4.22. It's higher in many states. $4.20. Nearly $1 more in less than 3 months. And the reason for that is because of Putin's war. And now many people are no longer buying Russian oil around the world. I've banned the Russian import of oil here in America. Republicans and Democrats in Congress called for it and supported it. It was the right thing to do. But I said at the time, it's going to come with a cost. As Russian oil comes off the global market, supply of oil drops and prices are rising. Now Putin's price hike is hitting Americans at the pump, which brings me to the first part of my plan. To immediately increase the supply of oil, our prices are rising because of Putin's action. There isn't enough supply. And the bottom line is, if we want lower gas prices, we need to have more oil supply right now. For U.S. oil companies that are reporting their largest profits in years, they have a choice. One, they can put those profits to productive use by producing more oils, restarting idle wells, or producing on the sites they already are leasing. Giving the American people a break by passing some of the savings on to their customers and lowering the price at the pump. Or they can, as some of them are doing, exploit the situation. Sit back, ship those profits to the investors, and while American families struggle to make ends meet. Look, this is a moment of consequence and peril for the world, and pain at the pump for American families. It's also a moment of patriotism. I want to acknowledge those companies that have already announced they're increasing immediate production. They're investing money to produce more oil, and also clean technology we need to reduce our dependence on oil in the future. They have everything they need, nothing standing in their way. And they've indicated they will be producing an extra 1 million barrels of oil per day, probably starting as early as this fall. That's progress. But some companies have been pretty blunt. They don't want to increase supply because Putin's price hike means higher profits. One CEO even acknowledged that they don't care if the price of a barrel of oil goes to $200 a barrel. They're not going to step up the production. I say enough. Enough of lavishing excessive profits on investors and payouts and buybacks when the American people are watching. The world is watching. U.S. oil companies made nearly $80 billion in profit last year. And this year, those profits are expected to continue to soar. This is the time, not the time to sit on record profits. It's time to step up for the good of your country, the good of the world, to invest in immediate production that we need to respond to Vladimir Putin. Provide some relief for your customers non-investors and executives. Look, I'm a capitalist. I have no problem with corporations turning a good profit. But companies have an obligation that goes beyond just their shareholders, to their customers, their communities, and their country. No American company should take advantage of a pandemic or of Vladimir Putin's actions to enrich themselves at the expense of American families. Investing those profits in production and innovation. That's what they should do. Invest in your customers. And it isn't just like, it's not the patriotic thing, it's good for your business as well. Right now, oil and gas industry is sitting on nearly 9,000 unused but approved permits for production on federal lands. More than 1 million unused acres they have a right to pump on.
Oh my God.
Families can't afford that companies.
Okay. He shut it down.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Dude, that was like his first thing that he did when he got into office. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Fuck.
Who this man?
Bro, my brain is fucking
Where are the
fried right now.
tomatoes?
I feel sorry for you guys down there. A two-party system doesn't work the way I feel, but I'm not going to be political. That's all I'm going to say.
He literally, his executive orders crushed anybody who wanted to produce or increase production, and then they fought the Keystone for years. Oh my God. All right, that's my piece.
That was painful.
We have Philip here.
My God.
We know that. It needs to be refined. It needs to get down there to you guys. So is the pipeline good or bad? I'm not being political here.
No, there's no reason on God's green earth, like North America, right? North America can't be independent of itself in oil production. There's no reason at all. And Russia's fault, right? How long is it going to take until it's?
We can blame everything.
How long is it going to?
It's Putin's fault. I stubbed my toe this morning, and I was like, "Damn you!" I knew it was his fault.
Word has it, Putin talked Will Smith into slapping Chris Rock.
Believe it.
Oh my
facts.
God. You hit a nail.
The immediate thing that could be done too is talking about the raising of the gas prices, but I go, it's the taxes like in California, like stop the taxes of the gas like temporarily then. Instead they're throwing $400 gift cards, like gas gift cards or whatever else to everyone, not even vetting who needs it or uses a card, which costs way more money to put out and roll out than just stopping the actual tax on gas for the time being. So
the state of Michigan has like a 54-cent gas tax almost, and it's absolutely freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like at $6 a gallon. I was over in California for the weekend, and it's like $6 a gallon just to freaking get gas over there compared to Texas, where it's like still it's pretty high, but it's like under $3. It's not under $3. It's under $4. It's like $3.70 something, $3.50 out here.
Wow. Jeez.
I'm blown away. I'm speechless right now. It's crazy.
I think the biggest thing that is upsetting is like the lack of ownership, right? It's like it was the pandemic and it was Putin is what I got from what he was trying to pass on there.
Well, that's all he ever does is shift blame.
Yeah, and that sucks. It's not. I don't know.
I mean, can you imagine being under such? I mean, this guy. I mean, especially with everything coming out with Hunter and all the connections with China and Ukraine and Russia. But this guy is so compromised. And again, I don't want to get political, but just off of what we know from this guy in office, going back to 1988, first time he ran for president, and the guy always lies. He's compromised. He's in the pockets of, it's every step of the way, this guy lies. They've covered for him. They banned everything that, anybody ever tried to say or show about, Hunter or any of his old plagiarizing all of his speeches. I mean, this guy is, it's disturbing. I'm sad for our country and for the world that we got to put up with this stuff. But I mean, it's just where we're at. But I mean, it's.
I still call him president because you respect the chair and the office of the presidency. But the guy is literally. I was so mad at my elders and my family. I said, you guys saw him drop out of 2 presidential races in the past for plagiarism and or being caught in a lie. I said, what makes you think it's any different now? And the fact that he basically, his first step as president was to undo the actions of the last president is such a huge disrespect for the chair in itself. That's what initially caused this massive increase in gas price spikes, was the industry knew they were being attacked by a political party. Now all he is doing is trying to look like a hero for fixing the problems he created. Does Russia have an impact on what's happening now? Yes, but when he says, I'd love to see the UK become energy independent, dude, bro, we were energy independent and you crushed it purposely. So you got to be real. I don't care who's in office. I care more about how Congress is seated. But you have to take a step back and be honest about what's really happening right now. Biden is not working for America. Not at all.
Yeah, the hypocrisy of saying like, oh, well, these people are raising their gas prices, taking advantage of the situation. Like, we've heard time and time again on both sides of the aisles where people have used these bills to pass certain things that also have nothing to do like with passing that bill. Like, he's basically doing the same thing by trying to push the energy, like the EV vehicles and all that stuff. So
and just come out and say that. We're not stupid. Say, I'm going to limit new oil production because I want to. My agenda is specifically to get EVs on the market, and I'm sorry you're going to take a hit at the pump. I would be more willing to pay for gas that's more expensive if he would just say that than try to act like I'm stupid. Because I know exactly what's going on with our energy industry in America. I mean, it's blatantly obvious, but that's just my opinion. I don't have any give or takes one way or the other with what political party anymore, because you got Democrats fighting to end market corruption and you got some Republicans that are involved in it and vice versa. So it's all a rigged game. We all see it on both sides. But I think the leader of the so-called free world needs to be a little more honest and transparent when he's talking. And then again, though, everything he said was pre-prepared by somebody, as we've seen with every call. So moving on.
Just wanted to let you know I actually work on a drilling rig. I'm headed back right now. And if you have LinkedIn access, you can look up EQT Corporation. They've actually got some really good articles on unleashing natural gas from the Appalachia region. But most of their, what they're trying to do right now, they got to get infrastructure, pipelines, things to supply that.
Yep, that's why, the fact that we focused for 2 years on one pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, to me was absolutely asinine with everything else that was going on. Infrastructure like that is going to create, one, more efficient and environmental standards for producing and transporting fuel, shouldn't even be a topic of dispute. But to play it off as some big thing, like it's the only political problem we faced last year, it's just wild, man. It's so unnerving to even listen to it anymore. Asian, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Just chilling.
Hey, thanks for letting me talk a little bit. Yeah, Biden and all the oil stuff. I live in California, so I don't even want to talk about it. It's bullshit. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I had called my brokerage account. I don't know if this will be helpful for you guys, but I called them to let them know I want all my orders of AMC and GME to go to the lit exchange. Okay. So I was on the phone with this guy for about 30 minutes. He doesn't know. Customer service won't know. They'll have to call the trading desk. The trading desk told me I bought 5 shares of AMC and 1 GME yesterday. Is on my order book. And so he called the trading desk. The trading desk told him that my orders went to Virtue. Okay, now, mind you, I'm not on a desktop, so I can't choose where it's being routed to, okay? I'm on my phone, I'm on my E-Trade app, whatever. So I'm just letting people that know on this chat, if you guys are ordering buying your shares on your phone or on your apps, we do not know where it's going to, okay? So he calls the trading desk and he tells me it went to Virtu. I told him I don't want it to go to Virtu. I don't want it to go to Susquehanna. I don't want it to go to Citadel, okay? He goes, okay, let me call them back and let me see what I can do. Before he did that, he asked me, where do you want it to go? I said, I want it to go straight to NASDAQ or IEX or the lit exchange. Anything where it's not off exchange. Specifically told him that, okay, guys and gals? So he calls me back, or, goes back on the phone and goes, well, they can't do that for me. And I told him, what the hell are you talking about? So I asked him, so any orders that I order on my phone, on my app, the trading desk automatically picks where it's going to, where it's being routed to, right? And he goes, well, yeah, well, it's this is where my orders had went yesterday when I had bought them, right? So he's gonna call these two guys on E-Trade, they're executives or whatever. They're gonna email me back. They gave him notes where I told him specifically, I want my orders to be routed to the lit exchange. Okay, guys? So right now, I have no idea where my orders are routed to. If you use a desktop, you can choose. But most of us on this chat, about 200-some people on this chat, are using their phones and buying it. I'm presuming, not financial advice, that when you guys are buying your orders, you guys are on your phone buying your orders, right?
You can choose your exchange through Fidelity on the mobile app.
Right. Now, I'm on E-Trade. I'm just letting you guys know that I'm on E-Trade. I'm not on Fidelity or Robinhood or Webull and all that stuff, bullshit, brokers. So I'm just giving you guys a little heads up. Please call not financial advice, please call your brokerage and ask them specifically that you want your orders being routed to, or have it to where it's defaulted, where when you buy it on your phone, it's being routed to the lit exchange. That's all. That's all I got for you guys today. It was just something that I just went through 30 minutes of on the phone with E-Trade. Okay, guys. So they're we wonder where the shares are coming from. Yeah, when we're buying it on the phone, we don't freaking know where it's going to. Virtue and all them people that we don't want it to go to, it's going to them. That's why they have all these shares and they're parking them, and then when they don't want to dump them, they dump them. Even though I'm on a cash account, right, guys? Even though I'm on a cash account, I specifically said, and they said, it's not being lent out. That's fine, whatever. But our orders are being routed to them, to the people that we don't want it to be routed to.
Oh, yeah. That's frustrating. Yeah.
That is frustrating. So I'm just letting you guys get a little.
I don't have E-Trade, but wow, I can totally understand your frustrations.
Right. Yeah. And many people on here, I'm just letting you guys know this is what I went through. I don't know where you guys are buying your shares from or on your phone. And I presume that most of us are buying our shares not on a desktop, on our phones, right? So I'm just letting you guys know that because I do not go on my desktop and buy them. So thanks for letting me talk a little bit and vent a little bit of the frustration of not getting a 100% answer of where my crap is being routed to. This is the frustration that we're going through right now, guys. So I don't know.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, like I said, I use Fidelity. You can go to the settings and slide the direct routing button, and then you just pick your exchange every time you buy. So
it's super easy, and you can use your phone and not have to worry about it. Not like
but I have asked him. Right. I also asked him. Well, I have E-Trade app. He goes, well, you need the E-Trade Pro app, and it's the old version. But he said that the old version, I have to have a desktop for that, right? So basically, you need to sit down in front of a computer and whatever. But then he said some fees and some shit like that, and I was like, what are you talking about? Why is it costing me money if I wanted it to be specifically routed to a certain exchange, which is bullshit, right?
Darth, do you have anything, information that you can help Asian guy here out with regarding on?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. Okay, cool. And actually, Spence, this is the timing on this is so funny because I was actually just going through it. I was going to shoot you a DM and ask you if you'd be interested in a space specifically on this topic, because the retail investor's ability to route orders directly to the lit exchange is literally the most powerful weapon that the retail investor has in its arsenal. Asian, man, there was a lot of information in there, but I would, because I don't want to come off like an asshole on this. There was a lot of information in there, but there was a lot of misinformation in there, what you were saying too. I have dove headfirst into this with some people on my Discord, and we've basically spent about a month and a half dissecting the ECN system and IEX routing. And for each and every broker, I mean, we specifically focus on the United States and brokers that are utilized here. But it's meant to be a difficult system because we are retail investors, and it doesn't benefit the hedge funds and their ability to continue to mess with things if this information is easily and readily available for retail to get and take advantage of. So specifically E-Trade, because I just recently, about 3 weeks ago, opened an account with E-Trade specifically for their ability to, and as a retail investor, to route orders through the ECN system directly into IEX. And I can tell you for a fact, I can prove it to you with pictures and documentation, that once you actually go into the E-Trade Pro desktop program and set up your settings and save them, that you can access all of your trades into this IEX and through the ECN system from your actual phone app. And the prices that they're talking about is it's a $3 commission fee to pay to have your order routed into this exchange. And quite frankly, I think me personally, I would pay 10 times that to assure that every time I placed an order, it was going to a lit exchange, it was hitting the market, and I could account for it as I'm sitting here watching these trades come in and out. So I can show you how to do it. Again, not financial advice. This is just how I do it personally now. And like Spence had said, the same thing with Fidelity. You just have to know how to do it. And you're not going to get this information from people who it doesn't benefit you doing it with.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. And I just wanted to, I will find a way and really, get that information to get it to the lit exchange. Also, on top of that, he came back. He came back and he said that what I was going to say. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I was just so frustrated, guys. You know what I'm saying? But you guys can take me off. I'll find a way to get it to where my order is being routed to where I want it to go. But it's just, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, man, I don't know your DM situation. I think this is the first time I've seen you or whatever, but I can DM you basically a photo and step-by-step instructions as to how I route my orders with the E-Trade system. And again, not financial advice. I just want to show you how I did it.
Right. Thanks, man. I just followed you too, so I can DM you. We can talk maybe later.
Awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, dude. You guys can take me down. Thanks, guys.
So
thank you for coming up.
So overall, most of the market's red again anyways today. GME's actually up 3% right now, which is good because usually AMC follows suit. But Hood's down 6%, Overstock's down 4%, Neo's down 5%. So not surprising to see them trying to drag the market down when HYMC started spiking again, bouncing off support lines like crazy. So no worries here.
Yeah, in fact, I bought some more today. So HYMC.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Gotta buy the dips.
Pretty sure they're gonna drop.
I'm waiting for their 10K to get freaking released.
Pretty sure they're gonna drop it right at close, or they're gonna drop it late after hours, so the market can react Monday to it instead of, what is today? Friday? Is today Thursday or Friday? Today's freaking Thursday.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was going to say is right before 12:30, do you notice there's usually like this kind of like sell-off that happens? I don't know if it happens every day, but I've noticed it a few days. Like around 12:25. I don't know if it's like algos or something, and then it bounces after hours.
It's something. That's for sure.
I like that it started running in the acceptable pre-market hours today where retail had more access to it. I'm sure some folks took some profit at $2.87 on the spike today, but more or less it looks like either somebody dumped a large position of shares or they shorted the shit out of it. I think there was a couple million shares borrowable according to iBorrowdesk at 98% cost to borrow. So I'm not surprised they're probably just playing the suppression game on it right now, but I think this one's completely out of their control. I don't think they're going to be able to keep it down for long.
Well, I think also there's some people I follow that are like day traders and stuff like that, that had like AMC, HYMC on their like tickers for this week too, because of the movement and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's always some type of selling pressure or buying pressure coming from retail day traders. That's given. But there were 3.3 million shares available as of today at 14:50:04 Eastern time at 92.8% borrow fee, which is the borrow fee is going up. So it's really not beneficial unless they're just trying to salvage a short situation. If they get caught anywhere above $3 on this play with 100% borrow fee, shorts are going to be eating shit for lunch every day. Because I know the movement's taken to this pretty strong. Nobody seems to be leaving. So
Suge, what's up?
Okay, so before you guys leave, I just want to say one thing to all of you guys. Like, whatever happens, stocks goes up and down, but be proud of all you guys, what you have guys achieved so far. The movement you guys have created, the love, respect, and care, and, everything. But the biggest thing we all should be proud of, look how many jobs you guys have saved. Look how many thousands of jobs in, AMC, like 31,000 some people work in the AMC chain. And how many families depend on that. And look now how many jobs you have saved in HYMC. So that's one thing, those are families, those who depend on these businesses. A lot of these people just wanted to bankrupt it for their own selfish needs. So if nothing else that they think, you should be proud of, just be proud of this one thing, that you saved the livelihood of thousands of people. And going forward, don't let anybody put negativity in your communities. Anybody that divides us, brings negativity in our community, they're not just for us. It doesn't matter who it is. So don't let people divide us, create, negativity. And we are all on right track. There'll be more and more of this, more and more people, some big names will come to try to persuade, one way or the other way. But just focus on, what we all have achieved and what we are all going to achieve. And, thank you for being an amazing part of this community and letting me be a part of all of you guys.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah. And nothing but love and respect for all of you guys. I'm going to drop by off you. I got to go pick up my kids. So, thank you as always to all of you guys doing these amazing calls. And love to all of you guys. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Shug, and thank you too. So let's go.
I just saw that the borrow fee, according to iBorrowDesk, has increased to 92.8%, up from, I believe, around 71%.
I think Tara mutes me when I talk.
What?
I just said that like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, my bad. I must have been doing something else. I don't know.
See? As soon as I start talking, muted, or there's something more important going on.
That's the problem. I'm always doing stuff on my phone. Whoops. I didn't even hear you say it, Spence. Sometimes I'm just zoned out.
You're crazy, you guys. You guys are crazy.
I was going to say, I don't really have too much more to cover myself. I get the feeling the earnings drop to 10K is probably going to be either at close or after hours. So
Today, right.
If you guys have anything else you want to cover real quick before I think we'll just end the call and let everybody kind of take a break and reset. And the problem is
I was waiting for that 10K to come out. I don't know if you guys want to let it roll and let people come up, or do you think it's going to be a while?
We can let it roll. You guys can keep going. I'm going to go play Zelda because when I'm not playing Zelda, the stock goes down. So
I'm down for whatever. We could always fire it back up in a little while or whatever you guys want. But yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting much from the filing anyway. I mean, it's, they're coming out of tough times. So I'm bullish for the future. The outlook.
Up here. Maybe he knows some new information.
I was just going to say that if they haven't dropped it yet, I would be shocked if it doesn't go public after market close, because I'm pretty sure there's a limitation on when you can drop 10Qs. You have to do either pre-market or post-market. So given that they haven't done it yet, it'll probably be sometime after close, like 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern. Maybe even it could be up until 8 o'clock Eastern. Even they may even do it. Maybe they'll even do it so late that it'll be after the market, even post market's closed. I doubt it, but you never know. So yeah, I would be shocked if we wouldn't be waiting until after the market closed to get the drop.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Not that it matters, but yeah, no, I agree. Probably.
My memory foam beanbag is way more comfortable than my computer chair anyways, so.
Well, it's fun. We can always start, I guess, a call later.
Yeah, sure. Whoever finds it first, just start a call and tag everybody. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to start playing Zelda, and before market close, we'll come back above 240. Okay?
And if we don't, then what, Spence?
What do you mean? I'm never wrong, Jen. Why do you FUD?
I don't know.
I'm never wrong. Everybody knows this.
Spence is always right.
Quit spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Yes, sir.
I'm joking.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well,
just positivity here.
I'll go ahead and end the call. I want to thank everybody for coming up, and my co-hosts. Make sure you follow them for sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna go have some snacks, probably some cheese and crackers, and take Doggo for a walk. So
thank you so much. Thank you for everybody. This has been a great experience. I'm so glad we're part of this. Oh yeah. Peace.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everybody on YouTube too. We had like 30 people at one point today, so that's really cool.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Spence, for hosting and inviting me and all of that. It's been awesome. It was a really good call.
Yeah, thank you, Spence. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hang around for a bit though, if you can.
Huh?
Just I'll just DM you, man. Weird shit's going on here. I'm
gonna go play video games, bro. I'll DM you. I'll have my phone with me.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
want to play video games too.
I'm not sharing.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.
See everyone. To the moon.